can't believe someone would break an NDA. That's just monstrous. What's wrong with the internet? Oh.
And with that,
Beyond criminal. Oops.
Hello, everyone. All the names are sort of mixed around because literally...
We're backwards compatible?
Yes, we're... There's Clifford's down here now. Farasalt's over here now.
Oh my god.
Wow, I feel very small down here.
No, what you doing? Why you... What? I want to be Clifford. Oh, I felt
make me Torellian.
Alrighty, so there we go.
I'll never tell you the difference.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Captain's Table. My name is Paul Bazooka01 Batman Shelley, and this is the Astropub. Here at the Astropub, we do space and Star Citizen's our main game. So as a result, we have the Captain's Table, where I bring people from around the community to come and discuss Star Citizen. Content creators from all walks of life, all types of content, and even upside down ones, as Farasalt has overcome his Australianness to come here today.
I'm actually just a Siamese twin, just two torsos.
Just two torsos. He's the Jack from
no legs
from those playing cards. And going around the room, we have Board Gamer,
hello,
YouTuber extraordinaire, Cliffy, Cliffy extraordinaire.
Yeah.
Trellian, CryEngine, Guru, and Farasalt. CryEngine.
The engine that makes you cry.
That's why they called it that. Seriously.
That's the reason why it's called. It makes you cry. And Farasalt, who is both Assault and Farah, and also very, very the other bartender on Twitch, the other space bartender on Twitch.
True.
That's the reason why we're like yin and yang right now, or the two sides, you know. I'm too quiet relative to the other guys. Okay, give me a second about that, guys.
The solution is to shout.
Yeah, shout louder. Yeah, that's exactly how it works.
Wow.
I heard another solution is to not use a blue Yeti.
Yeah, no, you not use a blue Yeti. You use a better one. So Farasalt has agreed to send me a really good good mic.
I've got this. No worries.
Properties.
You're just gonna get the other end of a tin can with a string.
There we go. So, for those of you guys who have not been here before, how the Captain's Table works is we just kind of discuss Star Citizen. We'll either talk about the topics of the day. We might go on to things like what's going to come out in 2.6, when's 2.5 going to come out, or we might go on a tangent about is Board Gamer's glorious head going to be in the games at some point, or is
already has been, mate.
Is Torellian going to go crazy and become, you know, the like the Yoko Ono of Star Citizen? You know, we go where we go. All right, this is just how it goes. Since we're all named Tim, that's according to Disco Land. Every one of us is named Tim.
Oh.
Specifically, Board Gamer. Board Gamer is Tim.
Yeah,
Forever Tim. He is Tim. The rest of us are just Tim.
Well, unless we had a Tam. Occasionally Tam turns up.
Timmy.
So the first question I want to ask you guys is with regards to ATV and RTV. We have the new ATV format. What was your initial feelings for both these new formats for ATV and RTV? Do you guys like it, dislike it? Anything you want to change about it? First, everyone's here had a chance to watch it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
More Chris Roberts. No, I'm just kidding.
More Chris Roberts. More Chris.
Oh, yeah, that's a fair comment. We do want more Chris Roberts. It's his project. He started it. We want more Chris Roberts.
And we haven't seen him since 10 for the Chairman stopped like a month ago or 2 months ago.
Yeah, it was nice to have Chris back in the office.
We also want to see more Disco Lander join these ones as Chris Roberts drops a massive info bomb.
I still believe that whenever Chris Roberts drops an info bomb, everyone in the office is like, "We're supposed to do this now." Wait, that's the date. Oh, okay, I guess that's the date now.
I wasn't a massive fan of the town hall, to be honest, because it just felt like same old, and still questions that I would have asked I felt didn't get answered. But I do think that will get more efficient as the months roll on. But the RTV, no, so the ATV I thought was amazing. I love short, snappy content. It got it all in there. There was no faff or like fuss at all. It was, these are what we're focusing on. This is what the studio's been doing. Have a look at that. And they're like, what procedural generated planets in the background while they're talking about atmospheric flight? And I was like, that nom in that content up. And then RTV, it's certainly better because you know what to expect and they can focus on something. So yeah, I mean, overall, I think it's much better. ATV especially, I think, is absolutely fantastic.
Anybody else?
I'm with Choc Mar. I'm with Choc Mar on this one. I'd rather have Chris working on the game than being, appearing on shows every week. But at the same time, I really did like RTV, its new style. I wasn't a huge fan. I mean, I like the whole laid-back style, but I didn't like how just completely in disarray it was. It was just kind of like, let's talk about our week, and that was about it.
This may sound like a bad idea because more work, but I liked the laid-backness, but I also didn't like the laid-backness every week where we learned about Disco Lando's Star Wars addiction, his crippling.
It doesn't
Star
have
Wars
to be
addiction.
either or, really. It could
every
be
week. No, but I'm saying like that's kind of like maybe like a monthly sort of like nonchalant. Hey, we're getting together and just talking about what's going on in the last month might make a little bit more sense. Just to kind of maybe set it a little bit longer. But because like an hour is not a lot of time to crunch a lot of stuff in, and when you have, because in the past when they did RTVs, it was laid back, but then every once in a while you'd get like Matt Sherman would show up, or Chris would come on, or someone would come on, and they just start talking, and that's when people really liked the content because it's like they're talking game mechanics, they're talking game, they're talking bread and butter.
RTV's sovereignty should always be the casual, this is what we're doing to cool off, talk to the staff, we're in the canteen or in the restroom, and people just wander in. I liked that about it.
Yeah, but I'd like that, but I'd like that with developers. But I still think we should have some time with the community team. That's why I was thinking, like maybe something like once a month, the RTV is just the community team hanging out and chatting, rather than because then we get to see what's going on with the community team. We get because usually that's also when we usually get our patches. So maybe people talk about like this is what we're doing for content, for like new clothing, or like new store stuff, new ships that are coming out, all that kind of stuff. But also just kind of talking about that. That is glorious. Is that you got an Aegis case?
Oh yeah, I've made a load of cases for Aegis, Drake one and 51. I've just been messing around with server builds for super cheap, like $100 build for PCs for Star Citizen. Oh. And I've been messing around with painting and spraying. I will eventually get quite good at doing some spraying.
Awesome.
I've been saying that about my stream for a while, so eventually I'm going to be a great streamer, I promise. It's just a longer term plan.
But I like the new. They need to strike a balance between the casual walk on, walk off of RTV in the past, and more formal. This is who we're talking to for this amount of time. Because I like that. Because at the same time, knowing who's on can be one of those things like, okay, well, this person can prepare some stuff to come forward, because I know sometimes it's hard to be coming on and be like, what are you working on? Same things we've been working on the last 3 weeks.
What are you working on next week? Same thing.
All that kind of stuff. So
it's like if you went in right now and you talked to the networking team at Austin and Frankfurt, it's like, what are you guys doing? Refactor. Anything else? More refactor?
Wrestling with CryEngine's demons. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, I did like how Brian did those shows on ATV. He basically said, I'm not going to lie, we're doing the same thing we were last week, but I'll try to, make it more interesting for you. No, he was honest with it.
Brian is such a dude. He's so blunt and so honest.
He is.
And so laid back about it. He's just, he's no nonsense, all business. I like that.
Yeah,
I loved his comment at BritizenCon, whereas occasionally I drop into streamers channels and check him out, and no one believes that I'm me.
Yeah, nope. he's got a name which you wouldn't expect to see.
I can't even remember it.
There's a couple of people who in CIG who do that, who come in with a name that's not their own name, like Sean Tracy does it too. He has his own name that's just not Sean Tracy. If you know his nickname, you know who it is. But
Yeah.
I've renamed Brian Chambers using Better Twitch TV to Brian Chambers.
to Brian
for me.
Chambers, I've memorized the names because of that's how I work at Twitch.
I'm going to resist the urge to out them, but yeah,
I
there's a number
I
of
try
them.
not to out them, though. Usually when Brian comes onto my stream, he's like, "Hi, hello from Frankfurt." It's like, yeah, who else is it coming on from Frankfurt? I don't know anybody else from Frankfurt, so. And usually someone else in chat goes, "Hi, Brian." It's like, oh, okay. But I do like the new ATV format. I think the new ATV format is going to be good,
Yes.
and I think it's going to pay off in the long run. With a lot of people complaining they wanted more meat and potatoes, they're going to get more meat and potatoes, like more bread and butter. We're going to get
but less crap as well around the edges. It was so
Yeah.
buffed with crap everywhere. We didn't need.
Yeah, no, and just a lot of stuff that was just in there for the sake of being in there. Like, oh, this is cool. Or, we got to live up to Wingman's Hangar. You don't have to be Wingman's Hangar. You can be your own show. And I think finally ATV is getting to that point where it's like we're our own show. We're something completely different from Wingman's Hangar, and it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to seeing how the other studios take on that role. I think it's going to be a challenge for some of the studios because they haven't got that outgoing development and community team. When we saw it with Brian Chambers, he's a very outgoing guy, but he's soft spoken and understates everything. He's like, oh yeah, we've got procedural planets working now. Wait.
do we need, like, do you guys think that like CIG needs a community manager for every studio?
Yes, I do. And I think
Yes.
they'll probably do something similar to that, or try and recruit something internally and go, who wants to do this weekly, and we'll train you. I think people will get very good very fast at being community managers in each of the offices.
Yeah, I definitely think the community manager at each office would also, they can make that a dual role where he's a community manager, but also he helps them, just like any administrative person, helps them with extra paperwork, Excel spreadsheets, just helps, he's there to help Brian, keep organized while he's working and doing stuff, and they can interact with the community, at least around in their own countries too, would help out, to get paid and helping with the, local bar citizens or whatever kind of little events they want to do there with just going meeting fans and stuff, I think would be a real help to them. As long as they make it like a dual road, like you're not just a community person, but you can also help us with paperwork and odds and ends, kind of like what Lando does. He does much more than just community manager
Oh
stuff.
no, and then that was one thing I was going to say is that like I've talked with Lando and I've talked with Xylo about their work schedules and their loads, and being a streamer that's not solely Star Citizen and kind of branching out into other games. I've talked with other community managers and figured out, like I've said this before, Frontier has Ed Lewis, who's a fantastic community manager, but his job solely is to deal with community content creators. They have a community manager for somebody else for like their like the forums and their social media managers, and they have like broken up. And this is Elite, which is a smaller project inside of a much smaller company. Someone's typing really furiously.
Oh, sorry, that might be me.
Enhance.
Sorry.
Oh,
Let me move that away from the microphone.
but I think they could go for a few more community managers, even if you broke up the responsibilities. Like, okay, you're the lead, forum moderator, you're the community content creator, manager, and then have them traditional roles, but also still be dealing with these videos every week and help herding the sheep that is the engineers that are working, who are not always camera savvy or good on camera. So
I'm just going to go ahead and volunteer Mika from the UK office.
yes. You've been volunteered as tribute. Congratulations. So is there anything burning that you guys want to talk about other than I've got some more stuff to talk about? Note that I will probably not be able to comment a lot on anything specifically 2.5 related that they haven't already been released. That hasn't officially been discussed.
The only other thing that I can think about as far as like dealing with them start, to do videos for the separate offices, you got to kind of remember also Frankfurt, even though they say they're bringing on 20 people for the company, a lot of those are just contracts. So in their contracts, the majority of them probably just you're not going to hear from them at all because, hey, I'm on a contract basis. I'm not here to do this. I'm here to do this job and go home every day.
Yeah.
So actually, I've got something I want to talk to you about. Out of the CIG staff, once Star Citizen and Squadron 42 are fully built, fully done,
I know.
how many of the staff do you think are going to remain on in CIG to continue the game?
Define Squadron 42.
Squadron 42.
Because Squadron 42 is the
Episode
first
3.
chapter.
Episode 3. Okay.
Episode 3 finished and Star Citizen out.
So you're talking
because
like,
obviously
you're talking like 3 or 4 years down the road, like when because like
Three-
I have a feeling
yeah.
that Squadron 42 and Star Citizen, Squadron 42 Episode 2 and Star Citizen will probably release around the same time. Maybe Star Citizen and then
let's
Episode
talk-
10, but
end of 2018, middle of 2019, because I think a large percentage of those guys will have done their work and will move on, or are contractors. But I'm just curious what other people think.
I think probably about that time, if you're talking 2018, 2019, I think about probably 75% of who's on the team right now will still remain. Because you don't need artists. I mean, you may need a couple artists to hang around, because you're going to constantly be making ships, because they've talked about doing new ships after the fact, and I'm sure they're going to be doing, like, we may not even have the Kurthak in the game yet, so you're going to need to build a brand new race, which no one has seen before, because they won't exist in game.
Crab people.
Crab people. Crab.
Just saying, crab people.
Crab.
I think it comes
Racist
down
choices.
to. I think it comes down to how successful it is, really. I mean, if Star Citizen really takes off, I imagine they'd move a lot of developers over to working on Star Citizen. But really, yeah, it just depends.
No, I don't think they'll be done with Star. Well, I think they'll be done with Star Citizen at that time, and they may be finished with Episode 2. But I don't think they'll be finished with Episode 3 until at least 2020 or 2021, because we're talking probably about a year or two turnaround per chapter after this first one releases. Because they have most of the assets, but they still need to do all of the mocapping and script editing, and then all of the mission level editing and all that kind of stuff. Which they may have a lot of that stuff already kind of planned out, but they don't have it all in game yet and bug tested. So I'd say give them about 2 years per chapter.
And it depends on how fully fleshed out their, because they've always been talking about building their library of all of the contents and pieces that they would use for, manufacturers, etc. So the timetables for Squad 42, Episode 2 and 3, depending on that, if they get a good library going by, the assets of Star Citizen stuff, it might go quicker. It just depends on how quickly they can shoot out the mocaps, I think.
I'm just curious on what level they're going to maintain high operations in the studio. Because I know they want to have like a 10-year lifespan on the game at least. Like it's like a WoW kind of MMO. So, do they need 75% of their staff on? And if they do, is that going to be to continuously be making updates and content? And if that's so, what's going to be making the money for Star Citizen? Is it just going to be the microtransactions and more sales of the game? Because then
that's a completely different topic. I think honestly,
it all builds into it.
Yeah.
It's all slowly builds into the same thing.
I don't think that the current after game release structure for by selling UEC and game sales is going to be survivable past a year once Star Citizen's released. It's they're gonna have to do some real hardcore come to Jesus moments about how they're going to make money after this, because once Squadron 42 is out and Squadron 42's money kind of runs out and Star Citizen's initial release, because everyone knows what's going to happen the first couple of months of Star Citizen will have a big fanfare announcement for being released. For the first week or maybe a month after it's released, there'll be a flood of new players, like millions of new players coming in.
Yeah.
And then like 75% of those new players won't even pick up the game again for another year. So, and then the sales will go from a huge spike to a just absolute decline, because that's what's happened with every new game in the last 10 years, especially with PCs. And then also you're dealing with space games. You can look at other games like Elite Dangerous and see how their markets have fluctuated over time. So, more than likely, I don't think their model's going to work. They need to figure something else out.
The only other things I could think that could bring them in money, and I've been thinking for this long time, even though they're building like Squadron 42, I could see them doing another type of standalone game, like saying a mercenaries story or a pirate story.
Offshoots of
offshoots of that, or even this is thinking granted because I know knowing Chris Roberts, I could see them eventually making some type of movie, an actual live film movie.
Like a Squadron 42 movie. Yeah.
Yes, if it's good enough, and because that right then, he could probably spin off his own production studio again, like he did before. But something of that scale, he would probably have to get with like maybe Warner Brothers or somebody else, like he's done before on some of his other films.
Any good
Didn't that
movies that are also video games?
didn't that not go well the last time? The
Good
Wing
or
Commander
average?
movie?
The question, like, what's your define as good? Because I would say that the Warcraft movie was good, but
Yes.
Only if you're a Warcraft fan. I'm talking about I liked the Warcraft movie, but I wouldn't show it to anyone else that didn't know anything about World of Warcraft
World of Warcraft, yeah.
or Warcraft 3.
No.
So can you think of any good video game movies other than World of Warcraft? Maybe.
There's another one which a lot of people didn't know was a video game that was did really well. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was one of those things that surprised me. Like, that's a video game? I didn't realize that was a video game.
For people in the chat, they're saying the Wing Commander movie. Yeah, it's cool. It's like a cult classic, but I wouldn't show it to many people. I wouldn't I've got a new girlfriend. I really like her. Let's watch the Wing Commander movie together. No. I think that might be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
So,
I think what Board's saying is that is there a Lord of the Rings, a Terminator,
there's a good Shadows of Mordor. Shadows of Mordor is a good, but it's not based on the film, really.
It's a video game based on there's a movie. It's a video game based on a movie.
Tomb Raider, Pokemon movies, Resident Evil.
No anime in this. Fuck the Resident Evil movies. I mean, I don't think movies translate well from video games.
Unless they're very, very straightforward, point A to point B kind of shooters.
Prince of Persia movie wasn't bad.
I have heard good things about the Silent Hill movies.
They're fantastic.
Yeah. Is anyone else looking at this list that's got Silent Hill, Prince of Persia?
Whoever said pixels, get the fuck out. Literally.
One good way to make a movie, and this is one good example, and y'all gonna probably laugh at me, but take Final Fantasy VII. When they made Final Fantasy VII Advent Children as a spin-off movie of the lore, it was really good. It's really now if they take Squadron 42 or Star Citizen and make a CGI type movie, that might actually do very well.
Oh yeah.
I think instead of trying to put it based in more of a live action film, but do it more of like a lot of these other films, I think it would probably work better.
Look at what Overwatch does. They have like little 5-minute videos that kind of fill in the lore, and they're great videos.
Yeah, I wish they would make a movie of it because it looks like it would be a damn good movie.
Mm-hmm.
Someone's put Super Mario Brothers.
Super Mario Brothers. Oh God.
That little movie.
Chat, you're killing me.
Yeah, that wasn't even close.
No, but it was the Silent Hill movies that I forgot that they'd made the Silent Hill movies. Based on Silent Hill, and a lot of people were like,
I suppose vice versa.
And they're not bad movies. They're pretty good movies, like overall. And then
they're bad movies. They've got some cool things that happen in them, like flaying of skin when you think it's her dress, and you're like, oh.
Well,
that's cool.
Well, here's another good example. We know that they are doing, like you talked about Tomb Raider. They are doing a reboot of Tomb Raider. Now, if they do a reboot based on the new type of Tomb Raider, I think it will do very, very well.
Because it's such a straightforward story in the new reboot.
And the person as the Tomb Raider was like if you took a real life woman in that shoes and it made a good compelling story. It's like this could really happen to a woman of that stature. Mm-hmm. I mean, because she was weak and frail in the first Tomb Raider, and it built up to where she's the survivalist. She's been through hell. Mm-hmm. I mean, sewing herself, getting stabbed, and actually pulling it out, and it had more emotion in it. So I'm thinking, if they base it on the new Tomb Raider, I think it will do very, very well, as long as they have a more real type woman, because I think when they remodeled Tomb Raider, she was more. A lot of women could relate to that woman.
I don't
Versus,
know. I think it was a little bit because it was so dark and gritty. It had the
Yeah.
Battlestar Galactica vibe to me. I
Okay.
watched it and went, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you see her grow. Like you see the character grow from
Yeah.
being almost completely helpless at the beginning to being this badass, like
I don't know.
archaeologist, survivalist person.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure if I like character growth like that. I like character growth that is, I'm a little bit more badass, but I'm still incredibly fragile because I'm still made of flesh.
More like a roller coaster where yes, they learned a lot, but then they meet this next person who's literally a wall, and then they go down in terms.
And now
of
I'm
their
fighting
confidence to
a
go back it up.
Japanese statue.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I'm not really built for this.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring back some really bad memories to the few number of people who have actually seen this movie. Far Cry.
Far Cry.
Yeah.
Now, I will say
Uh-huh.
it was a terrible movie, but for the budget and for the directing and the actors involved, In the Name of the King was not a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie. For a
In the Name
UA
of the
Ball
King.
film, like they made it in the Name of the King. It was a
That was with Thingamajig. What's his name?
A Dungeon
Jason
Siege Tale.
Statham.
Yeah.
The Dungeon
The
Siege.
driver. The transport guy. Yeah.
Jason Statham.
Jason Statham.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Jason Statham was the main actor in that. And it's like,
that
how
was
did
not
Jason
an awful
Statham get
film.
into a UA Ball movie of all damn things? And
Yeah.
it even had John Rhys Davies in it. I think there was a couple other people who were in it as well. It wasn't that bad of a movie. Was it a great movie? Was it something to write home about? No, it was like a direct-to-DVD release kind of quality movie, but it was a high-quality direct-to-DVD release, which surprised
It was
the crap out of me
surprising.
from UA Ball, who is a terrible director.
But you expect that from UA Bowl or UA Bowl or whatever we're calling him at the moment. He makes terrible films, and there's a joy in that.
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you want to see the Star Citizen movie directed by M. Night Shyamalan?
Yes.
Oh my
Yes,
God.
Shyamalan, please.
So many twists.
Is
So many
his real name
twists.
Minoj or something like Minoj? Come on, do it. Give us the twists.
The Doom film was not awesome.
The Doom was terrible. I would say that the original Hitman movie it wasn't really the game. It took some elements from the game, but it wasn't
Yeah.
a bad movie. Mostly because it had like the guy who played Agent 47 was can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he's the guy who ended up playing like the bad guy in Live Free or Die Hard, and he
Yeah.
like he was in a TV series. That was a pretty good one. But
There's some bad videos. There's some bad movies.
guess we
bringing
can
it back
move on.
to Star Citizen.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Stop
yeah.
that.
Stop going back to Star Citizen. Do you guys think that? I mean, we with 2.6, because 2.5 we kind of already know what's going to be coming out with it. They've given us a pretty good idea of what's coming out
Yeah.
through official releases.
I'm not breaking NDA.
I'm not going to break NDA. And I think most people are kind of content with the fact that 2.5 is done. We're waiting for it to go into PTU and then going into live. But people. The second people hear is like, oh, it's in the avocado hands. When's 2.6? Like that train just keeps moving. But with 2.6, we do know that Star Marine's coming in.
Potentially. That's the plan.
That's the plan.
Right.
Does anyone think that they're actually going to fix some of the netcode with 2.6? Not with the universe, but with like Arena Commander and like, do you think, like, because my personal hope and belief is that that 2.6 is going to be an Arena Commander and Star Marine overhaul, where they go in and they're just going to revamp a lot of the balance issues with Arena Commander, go in and introduce Star Marine in a bunch of different modes, trying to fix everything out with that's the problems that are with that exist currently in Arena Commander, to kind of make it more of a game that they can sell as a free-to-play game almost. Because that's one of the things that I've heard lots of fans throwing around as an idea is release Arena Commander and Star Marine as free-to-play, actual free-to-play games like War Thunder or Warframe or anything else like that, and they can rent ships and weapons and armor for their characters, or they can buy Star Citizen, and then anything they do in the universe in the PU, they can bring over to those free to play games as well, to kind of as like a gateway drug for people who want to get involved in Star Citizen. So
First sample's free.
First taste always free, baby. And if they don't want to go, if they don't want to buy the game, they can always use that as a money making opportunity and be like, yeah, sure, you can buy the Gladius for, $90, but only for Arena Commander, or for like $40, but only for Arena Commander, sort of thing.
Well, I think so. With regards to the first-person shooter element, so Star Marine alone, it's actually, I think it's the smallest hurdle I've got to overcome in terms of netcode, because netcode for Star Marine is it's an arena-based. It's basically what the CryEngine was designed for: small team battles in a relatively small map. I do think that we'll be seeing iterations of the netcode improvement coming out. I keep on seeing everyone throwing around that they're going to do a complete rewrite on the netcode. I sincerely doubt that. I think they're going to modularize it more. They're going to rewrite the parts that are currently holding it back. But that will include lots of the core modules, but it's not going to be a complete rewrite. Because it doesn't need to happen.
Yeah, I explained it this way. That what they're gonna, I've explained this on my stream before, is that CIG is gonna work with the least amount of effort required. So if they require only to fix some parts of the netcode and not others, they're not gonna go through and rip out all of this netcode that already probably works, just so they can replace with new netcode. They're just going to use what they need to fix what they need to fix. And if they need to continue to replace the netcode until it's completely erased, like that CryEngine netcode is gone from Star Citizen completely, then yeah, they'll do that. But they're not going to do that if they don't have to. So they're going to, like, they keep saying, oh yeah, we're pulling out the netcode. I don't think that's actually what they're doing. They're not pulling out all the netcode. They're pulling out the netcode that they need to fix and insert their own. Well, they said that before. Didn't they say that before when Arena Commander originally released, that they were going to pull all the CryEngine netcode, and that's why they took the extra time, was so they could put in their brand new netcode. And in reality, what they were doing was just pulling the netcode that sucked and introducing stuff that didn't suck.
Well, at the same time, if you look at, I can't remember what the code base was, but CIG are listed as a sponsor on one of the open source netcode projects, where they're introducing
the main one.
Yeah, where they're actually, the description of the project is a network code solution that will only transmit the data required between clients and servers, and also determine what data needs to go to each client individually. Which is a really cool piece of tech, and that's something which I think we'll be seeing over the course of the next 1 or 2 patches.
So something like, so they actually reduce the amount of, I don't need to know why boards, in Yella, destroying that Starfarer that was so generously trying to help him out. I don't need to know that if I'm in Security Point Korea trying to murder, Saurus for
Correct.
the number of time.
Correct. It's other things like when you're in the seat of a ship, it's not going to need to animate your legs or your torso at all, so that information becomes useless. Whereas your head will still be animated and your hands will still be animated when you're in a seat, so that information would be passed on to clients that can see you. So by reducing the amount of information that's being passed through the server and to individual clients, you're lightening the load all over the place, and it's going to be a very cool piece of technology change. I get the feeling that the concept and the structure for it is already done. They're just working on implementing.
And I will say this, Kochma, I have heard enough people who work with CryEngine for as their job talk about the CryEngine netcode to the point where they're like, it's not a very good code. Even the base for what it's designed for, it really isn't a good code. It's not designed for an MMORPG, but it's just not designed really well, because CryEngine wasn't intended to be a multiplayer online experience. It was designed to build first-person shooters or first-person single-player games initially.
I think that we're going to get a quite significant overhaul to the network code, something to sing and dance about. And I think it will probably be in 2.7. I think we'll get very limited fixes for 2.6 and it will work for Star Marine, because Star Marine, we don't have to spawn ships. Star Marine, there's only going to be like 5v5 or 6v6 or whatever. It's going to be more limited. It's going to be a single level, one physics grid. It's going to be a lot easier for it to work it out, what's going on and all this stuff. And we've seen it work before, basically, a long time ago. So I'm assuming they've only improved that. I don't think we're going to get a whole new physics network code for 2.6, although it's a possibility.
Yeah.
But I do think Star Marine will work on the old stuff. I think it will work fine.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing we're pretty sure that Star Marine's coming in because of what we've heard from PC Games, the PC Games article. Then again, I have looked through the analysis of the PC Games article, and I know that's a third-party analysis, which is a third-party summary of an article written in German, which was then translated into English and then made a summary of in English. So I don't know how reliable all those sources were, or how directly, like exactly what they said. Because some stuff that's
Brian Chambers, I was with Brian Chambers when that article was literally released.
Yeah, you were. You and Super Mac Bros and those guys were up there right next to him, right?
And he did not say any of it was incorrect. Should I say? I was saying, "Oh my God, this is awesome." He didn't say, "Oh no, that's incorrect." He read it with me. He read it in German, obviously.
Yeah.
But we were reading it next to him in English, going, "Oh my God, this feature." He's like, "Oh, I can't talk about some of the stuff." So he didn't say it wasn't incorrect.
Okay,
so it was incorrect.
So 2.6, we can assume that 2.6 is targeted to have Star Marine in it. We haven't heard of anything else from 2.6, so that's why I'm hoping that what 2.6 is a let's go back to the original Arena Commander, fix what's broken, really work on balancing it, because 2.7 is going to be this motherlode A-bomb that they're going to be dropping on us with procedural planets, which is with the Nyx, the Delmer landing zone on Nyx, and then also trading mechanics, the initial implementation of trading mechanics. So that's going to be a huge bomb, and the more complex something like Apaches like that is, the more possibility that something's going to break. Oh yeah, and on top of that, new netcode for 2.7. So the more complex something is, the more likelihood you're going to have faults in it, and they're releasing it all at once, which tells me that we may have another 2.0 situation where it's just like, we got in the game! Yeah. It's a success, and then it crashes, a couple minutes later.
It's certainly going to be the next biggest release after 2.0. It's going to be as big as that, because it's got so many features, and as you said, stuff can go wrong, because there are so many features.
Well, plus if they get Star Marine in 2.6 up and running, I could see them in 2.7 on the procedural planet actually putting those maps we play in on the planet's surface. Like you actually land, go in there and do FPS in a facility or something, because they already got it built out. Plus, I am curious because they've shown so many pictures of it being finished, like a lot of it finished. Are they going to drop secretly as a side, like extra candy in Sata Ball?
Oh no! I mean, I think
that'll
we're going to get
Star Marine.
I think we're going to get Sata Ball with Star Marine. I think that was one of those
things.
things. Yeah, no,
because I love those suits. I love the blue and the red suits. They look pretty good.
That's essentially what we got for the flight suits. The flight suits are simply like a modification of those cool suits. So
I think that will be a 2.8 release, Sata Ball, and they as like an add-on. Yeah. That's what
Wasn't Sata Ball intact with Star Marine a year ago?
Yeah. Well, it was initially
to some
intact.
Extent.
It was initially intact, but the animations and the bones for EVA are something that they've been having a really difficult time with it recently, from what I can see. I'm not convinced that Sata Ball will be in 2.6.
I thought Sata Ball was the only one that survived that massive animation problem they had, so I think it might have been at PAX. They showed that instead.
PAX East, yes, last year.
PAX East,
or PAX. I think it was PAX East last year. Now, I think the big thing to remember is that one of the reasons why they were having trouble with Sata Ball was the zero-G animations. We have completely redone the zero-G animations since then with the new ragdoll stuff, and they're much better than they were when we first saw Sata Ball. So the only thing that would be the issue is the grappling hook with the tractor beam, and that's coming in with the Caterpillar. at least some kind of prototype version is going to be coming in with the Caterpillar, which I assume is going to be coming in by 2.7. So if we're having everything in by 2.7, if they've got a lot of those mechanics worked out ahead of time, I could see Sadaball coming into 2.6 with the Star Marine, specifically because it would be a test of can these tractor beams work in game in a small version rather than in this massive ship, which could break the entire server when we try to use it in a massive server.
Did they confirm it's going to be the tractor beam is going to be with the Caterpillar?
They said that there is a tractor beam room in the Caterpillar, and that they're going to use the Caterpillar as a tractor beam as the basis for the tractor beam technology going forward into how they're going to.
It seemed to be a hard target for them.
Because I remember them saying that they were going to implement the Starfare when refueling is up and good and ready to go, and that kind of they just took off the entire.
They
hose
just kind of
back.
didn't. Yeah, so I agree. They could easily be doing that.
Well, here's to hoping, but
Yeah.
So
pinch of salt.
I do think that from a marketing point of view, they don't need to think about Satterball. They need a working FPS ready to go for FPS players that play Counter-Strike and stuff to transfer over to Star Citizen before Squadron 42 goes live and when Squadron 42 goes live. So that they go, we've got loads of players now playing in the alpha, we've got loads of players playing our single-player game as well, and then they can think about the other stuff. Satterball, I'm sure it's going to be great. But it's not. I don't think it's going to be something that people play to death. It might be. I don't know.
I think it'll be one of those things where people will be sucked in because of Star Marine, because hey, it's FPS in this big massive game, and we can try it out and see if we like it or not. And I think the thing that'll capture them and keep them there is Satterball. I mean, think about DayZ. People played, or not DayZ. What is it? H1Z1. People initially got sucked in because it's like, oh, it's like DayZ but done. It's or like DayZ and Rust had a bastard offspring, which was just fun and amazing. But most people have stopped really playing the base version of H1Z1. However, the thing that they threw in as kind of an afterthought, the Battle Royale, which has become King of the Kill, is one of the most played games on Steam. It's one of the most streamed games on Twitch. It's one of this huge phenomena that is taken over with this Battle Royale stuff. And I think that's would be like Star Marine is the base. Well, this is the FPS mechanics, and Satterball would be that this is a unique game type. It's essentially the battle room from Ender's Game.
Well, I would pair it from like Satterball is like it is to racing. There are two additives that certain groups love to play, and yeah, it can come after Star Marine, anything like that. But I think it's something additive that would bring a different wave of people. I think.
I will say I do think that Satterball has the strongest chance out of the Star Citizen games that we know of so far. That's going to become competitive.
Mm-hmm. Honestly, I think Racing and Satterball will be the two big competitive games that we might actually see professional league spark.
I don't know. I think it's more likely to be the first-person shooter stuff. I think that if they're going to do some sort of esport, I think it would be with that. But I suppose we will have our own opinions on that.
That's what the captain table's here for.
Also, we don't know, but they might actually use the Satterball arenas also to do FPS shooters in too.
Yeah,
really cool.
I was going to bring it up with the 2.6. There's been some discussion on multiple maps being released for 2.6 with Star Marine. Do you think that's the case? Do you think when 2.6 releases, we'll have like a handful of maps?
The German article suggested that they played multiple maps.
Now, that could be multiple maps in the sense that, like, they have all of the Gold Horizon Station, and then they broke up the Gold Horizon Stations into separate areas to be smaller maps for, like, FPS battle.
That is possible.
But considering how we know that they've done Grimhex and Port Olisar in a very short amount of time, given them very limited resources, using a palette they built, I don't think it'd be impossible to think they use those same palettes and just be like, here's FPS.
You could also, level-wise, they could also go, let's play on the Starfarer. Mm-hmm. That's a level right
on the Retaliator. Where's Wickstrom?
Well, just in
I mean... Well, and I can also see them doing something like, and this is way down the road, something like Doom, where you could build your own map levels and submit them to be a part of Star Marine.
Yeah, I mean, CS:GO has that even. That
is the advantage of the build set system they've used. You can just practically snap lock everything together.
Yeah. Potentially, we could even see procedural levels.
Yeah,
Mm.
you
True.
could use. I don't think procedural levels would be as effective because the difference
No.
between like a procedural like landing zone, which has been kind of built out, versus like an FPS arena game, is that FPS arena games really do need to have movement. They need to have flow through them. If you're not
Otherwise, they look
flowing-
like Lego.
Yeah, otherwise they look like Lego, and they also will play like Lego. People will just end up being in their own little corner playing with themselves rather than actually dealing with the other kind of stuff.
Phrasing.
No. You know what I meant. You know what I meant, Board.
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
I was just about to call it, but Takaroshi beat me to it. Capture the Idris, and that would be really unique. I think that's something to draw people in.
Yeah, but we're all looking forward to that, I think.
Capture the Idris, yeah.
Yeah.
It'll definitely come, I think, after Squadron 42 because they don't want to give the Idris away right now, currently.
Again, this is the reason why I think it would be
Unfortunately.
a perfect thing to do Star Marine and Arena Commander as a free-to-play modules for everyone to enjoy it, because you could be like, hey, Squadron 42 is released. Here's a free Capture the Idris mode for Star Marine so that everyone can enjoy it, kind of thing.
I mean, if they wanted, they could release Capture the Idris with the final Idris sale and just go, oh, yeah, unlimited Idrises for today, guys, just $1,000 each. They'd sell so many.
They
would,
insane. They might actually go 100 million in a day, just from that kind of.
But see, that just got me worried because from the initial interviews that they did of the Bengal carrier saying, okay, we got it built, but we're still having major troubles of this going to be flying in the PTU because it's so massive. If you got a bunch of people with a bunch of Idrises, they're going to have to start really watching how many Idrises, Javelins they let go, because that's just more of a headache they have to deal with down the road.
Yeah, that's
People already freak out when you spawn in a Starfare.
Yeah.
Kochcam, you've been bringing this up a lot about how you that it'll be really high-end graphics. The difference between if you release a free-to-play game that's downloadable versus Star Citizen, in terms of like just releasing the Arena Commander and the Star Marine as its own free-to-play game, CryEngine can work on potato boxes. It can work on peasant stations.
Yeah, I get 30
console.
FPS in Arena Commander. I'm running on a GTX 650.
Yeah, they can run on pretty ancient technology, and they can be tampered for ancient technology. We're talking about a completely separate thing from Star Citizen, which is designed to be high-end, lots of polys, lots of all that kind of stuff.
Corellian, are you from the past?
Yes.
It's not even a graphics card.
He's using it to make CryEngine videos too. That's the crazy part. is that he's using
Surprisingly,
all
well,
that.
actually, Fiendish, he used to make a crazy large render. I can't even remember how big it was. More than 4K on what was it, like a GTX 570? And I was like, you kidding? How could you? It had to have caught fire. It had to have.
We're talking after this cast. We'll see if we can sort you out some better hardware.
I'd hope so. Someday.
My capture rig is running a 960. I'll swap you.
Yeah.
Well, maybe if I just turn the 6 upside down.
I've got some 970s just in my house, just hanging about. I'll send you one of these.
Man,
just casually got them laying around.
Just casually running about. I mean, I've got a 670 that I just pulled out of my rig, but even that, just like, it's mine, my precious. Right now.
I'm going to try to do a span of words.
Wow.
What do you folks reckon are the chances of them adding atmospheric flight interference to the current racetrack
Oh, I think it's going to
in
happen.
2.7?
I mean, it's going to happen because 2.7. I think they'll have Grimhex racing out easily. I don't think they'll have it. I don't think they have.
Oh,
it for
those
2.5, and I don't
dragonflies.
think they'll have it for 2.5. But I think 2.6 or 2.7 will have Grimhex racing, and if they already have zero-G racing, then there's no need for having Arena Commander racing unless you want to. And since it's in a atmosphere, you just put it in with your atmospheric flight models. That'd be my guess, but.
Yeah.
I think it'll make some interesting changes to the game style if they do add atmospheric flight interference to the current racetracks above the planet Green in the Ellis system, right near my bar.
Yeah. Your bar's on the racetrack, right? Is that
Just below it.
Just below it.
Occasionally there's some debris.
See, what you don't know is that
That's flavor to the
Farisol's
drink.
actually secretly plotting to murder the announcer for
Trevor Vass.
What's this secretly rubbish?
openly plotting to do so, which is why his bar is located so close, so he can just watch him constantly.
I'm going to sit outside my bar with a shoulder-mounted railgun.
Oh my god, I'm so looking forward to that gun.
Oh yeah, is that
gonna be
weapon
so
going to be
cool.
any effective? I mean, it's like less than a size 1, and I mean, size 1's barely break through a shield. I wonder
It's
if...
going to be effective in certain situations, like if you're fighting dragonflies.
Mhm.
Or
I'm
a civilian pilot, you know?
I think
I'm
multiple
hoping that
like you see,
Yeah.
you'll see like you don't see shoulder-mounted missiles taking out jets, but you do see them taking out like helicopters frequently on the news and stuff like that. And it's about hitting them where and when they're
Dragonflies.
like dragonflies. You can also take out like auroras and maybe gladiuses who have their shields down or they're trying to land. It's about when and where you attack it.
I mean, can you
Plus,
imagine?
I'd love to see it hit a player.
I'm hoping you can have them on the back of the dragonfly.
Oh
You can
yeah,
have
the
Ooh.
launcher in the back of the dragon.
That's
Dude,
the
I'm fully planning. So I'm fully planning on having just a line of guys in the back of a freelancer max with those shoulder-mounted railguns.
Just open up and just.
chuck grenades afterwards.
But this is the question that's been popping up in chat. By the way, guys, if you guys want questions to ask to any of us, exclamation point questions in chat, give you a link. Go to that link, put in your question and your Twitch handle, and we will answer it here in about well, we're almost at that time, so in a couple of minutes or so. I keep saying that I think that the Caterpillar will be in 2.7, and I think the Dragonfly will be in 2.7. Do you guys agree, disagree? Do you guys think that's something different? We will get it sooner? What do you guys think?
I think we might have hangar capable or potentially even flyable Dragonfly in 2.6.
And
Yeah.
it depends on whether or not they got animations done for that, mocap animations done for the Dragonfly already.
It
I
would
mean,
be
they
very
can-
particular ones.
Yeah, they could do them real quickly because we know in Austin they have a setup that they can bring out and do it real quickly because it would be more simplistic, animations that they would need for that.
Yeah, I think
somebody
that's-
getting on a bike and then they would mirror image that onto.
Like all the recent image, like if you go into right now in 2.4, if you go in and you get you do the inspect for the weapons, you see them kind of doing the whole weapon inspection. All of those
Yeah.
were mocapped at Austin. They weren't mocapped in England. And they actually showed that off in their ATV 100 Part 3 when they showed off their FPS weapons. Like that's where they do it. So I'm sure that they can do some of that mocap stuff just right there on the spot if they need to.
Yeah, because
sorry, go ahead.
Well, it'd just be easy with them because all they would need is, I'm pretty sure, somebody, or they can get a motorcycle and do that real simple because that's what they would need is some kind of motorcycle so they can do the animation and him lifting over, getting on it, and they wouldn't have to really build a prop for that.
What about the zero-G mounting it and how you move in atmosphere when you're on a vehicle like that?
Well, it depends on how they do, because I would figure that you have mag boots, so I figured that when you get on it, it'll mag
That's
boot
true.
to the dills, but also it'll have probably clamps that clamp down on your feet. They'll have some kind of animation that probably locks. It shows you locking in, but they'll probably put it more in a coding. Basically, okay, when he's in this position, the locks will come down, but we have nodes there that the feet will become attached until he presses F to get off of it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Even then, though, if you're coming around a hard bend, the entire character would move to the side. I mean, we've seen that in ships like the Aurora or whatever, but it's kind of a very subtle thing when you're on a bike doing it.
Yeah, which
Be a
they
bit
could
different.
probably get somebody sit on the bike and do a more of a lean motion, and then they take that and make it cue points at certain.
It's got a shield though, hasn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's got a
So
small shield.
It has, yeah.
Doesn't it?
I think it's effectively a 0.5 shield.
Yeah.
Isn't it going to keep you in an inertial dampener? Otherwise, you could go quite fast and just go.
I don't think the Dragonfly is going to be very fast. I think it's going to be slower than the Aurora.
I think you're going to be able to deploy it quite quickly, though.
Yeah.
Imagine it getting out of the Caterpillar. The Caterpillar's going in cruise mode as you leave in your Dragonfly. You're going to be going quite fast very briefly.
Yeah, and I do think that we're going to have a situation where they're most effective, and the part of the reason why I think they're going to be in 2.5 is because Dragonflies are the only ground vehicle that we know are probably closer to release than anything else. Because the other
You mean
stuff is
2.7?
just concept. Yeah, 2.7. I'm sorry, did I say 2.5?
Yeah. And me saying this could be over complex of me saying this, but I remember seeing it done in some sci-fi movies and stuff. it would have been if it would have been an additive that they would have put on the bikes that when a person sits on it, it has this spinal thing that comes off the seat and actually locks up your spine and goes along and like inserts into your suit.
I saw that it's in
Maybe-
they had the chair that she sits in at the end when she's going on that the voyage, which kind of like locked in all the way up.
Yeah.
And locked her helmet in, so she was absolutely
Yeah.
motionless.
Yeah, motionless to where it would stick. That would be cool animation. I know that's a lot of extra work. That's just me throwing something out there, but it would be.
Maybe a Xeon ship and an Aegis ship, an Origin ship. I don't think Drake would have something quite like that.
Yeah.
I guess they could just have a belt you just tie yourself.
yeah.
Tie.
You'd be lucky to have a belt. Drake is just like, here's a string. What is this gonna do? I don't know. Make it feel better.
Well, yeah, like they're talking about.
Shouldn't see. Pull the
it's
string
like-
if you panic.
They're talking about
It's like one of those tethers on a jet ski.
Yeah.
or
We don't need
Pacific-
that,
When you fall off, your bike stops.
Just Velcro on the outside of the ship.
Yeah.
Well, but like Vanisher was saying, like Pacific Rim, they had that deal where it would clamp you in basically, and I'm just saying that. But they could have had simple things like this deal that when you sit down, it has this belt that comes around and just locks you in basically. Not necessarily your top half, but at least
I don't
keeps
even
you
think we'll have that.
more stable.
I think in animation we'll have that. It'll lock you in when you
Yeah.
get in. But I think
Gotcha.
like you look down, it's just like a space motorcycle, just like a motorcycle. There's nothing that's preventing you from falling off in all reality, and you're just a giant target on the back of that thing, or on while driving that thing. So let me pull up some of these questions.
I'm scared.
I think, like, my approach of that one is I think we're going to see, like, a lock that clamps around your boot is about as much as you're going to get. It's like, lock around your boot and then just hold them with your hands.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's probably the most we'll get.
Oh, and also in relation to the animation, remember that they've just finished a mocap shoot about a week and a half ago. They've been doing mocap shooting over in the UK.
And they did say that some of those mocap shoots was for Star Citizen, not just Squadron 42.
Yep.
All right, guys, if you have questions, please hit exclamation point questions or exclamation point question in chat. Both of them will bring up the link. You can ask the question in the link for myself, any individual cast members, or the whole cast as a whole. I will say, right now, we are not CIG developers, but we will give you official CIG answers. And everything you hear from now on is completely confirmed. You please go to the forums and
110%.
post saying, I heard Board Gamers say on the captain's table, CIG employee, that this is confirmed. My campaign of terror will continue until Xylo or Disco Lando decide to come onto the show. So, that's
Everything we say is canon. All of
everything
it.
we say is canon. So that disclaimer over with. Go ahead, Trellin. You're saying something?
Oh, right, yeah, before we get off animations, I really am not a big fan of the new fast animations. They're not really much faster. They're kind of just a second or two. Like, when you climb on the ladder, it's kind of that first burst of speed. They jump on the ladder and then they just kind of take their time again.
Yeah.
I really want like a full-on hardcore fast animation.
You want something like where he just leaps up and just takes 2 steps onto the rungs and
Yeah,
then,
just full on
tosses themselves
jumps and
into it.
straight over, vaults into it.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why wouldn't
My
you
hands
always
just
go
like-
for the
just-
fastest speed?
Why wouldn't you
Yeah.
move as fast as speed? I don't know. I think
Leisure.
I think
Pleasure.
immersion.
Loading screen.
Immersion.
Yeah, exactly.
I
It's-
think part of the reason there's probably going to be some reasons, like why wouldn't you just wear armor all the time? They're going to put in some reasons not to be like hurried.
Stamina.
Like that.
Oh,
Stamina. There might be
I
some
guess-
sort of like head movement, like if you're jumping into the cockpit suddenly. with your
I
foot
want to
movement.
preserve my stamina because I'm coming out into a combat zone. So I'm going to do the leisurely one.
I think for realism, we need a 30% chance to fail the entry animation.
That would be
Sit on the ladder,
awesome. Just face plant on the side of the cockpit.
That's the way to
like,
go,
Oh, yes.
The stumble, the concussion.
Whenever
Yeah.
I see it in first person, I feel like that's what they're gonna do. When you're getting out of the Hornet, how he slides down the ladder, I just kind of like,
Like to miss the ladder, like getting out of
So
the Hornet,
close,
miss
like,
the
yeah.
ladder and fall and flat on your back. That would be. I like those fail chances though. Then again, I'm one of those crazy bastards who's like, if we're gonna get a hardcore survival FPS game, I demand there to be jamming animations and like a chance for weapons.
Far
to jam.
Cry
Yeah.
2 did that so well. That's cool.
I think Escape from Tarkov is doing that as well. But I'm just like, yes, and everyone else is like, that sounds terrible. It doesn't sound fun at all. I'm like, it sounds amazing.
At least we have weapon decay. That's close enough.
Yeah.
No.
Which looks gorgeous as well.
Vanisher, that is true. Montoya is responsible for me since I am a Test Gaming member. So I'm just trying to get Montoya more work to be more active amongst us Test Gaming guys. Sorry, Montoya, not sorry. So we've got a bunch of questions from the Ante, and then we got a couple other things. First question from the Ante: what will your main profession be at launch? Pirate, bounty hunter, male space stripper? Well, I mean, that last part, I think we're all going to be doing a little bit of the full Monty when it comes to the game release.
Oh my God. Full Monty.
You can leave your bank boots on, is the song.
Going back there with full Monty, what was that 1998 or something like that?
Oh God, don't remind me how old I'm getting. Thank you.
You and me both, Board. You and me both.
I was talking to someone about 386 processors earlier today. It's going, oh.
I missed that turbo button. I missed the turbo button so much.
Yeah.
I miss computers that were built to be loud.
Yeah.
Because that was the cool thing. And
I'm so lost with this one.
Yeah,
Oh,
you're so young.
Whoops.
You don't remember what an AGP slot is, you whippersnapper.
It's sad that there's literally an entire generation of children who've grown up in the last
Never seen an ISA slot.
who don't even know what a floppy disk is.
Oh my God.
Like,
I do.
Like a
Least
or a hard
floppy
disk.
disks are
Like,
3.4.
like they don't have the they see the save symbol on like Microsoft Word and they're like, what is that's just the save symbol, right? It's like no.
No. You don't know what a floppy disk means. It means that you haven't transferred Alien vs Predator or another game on 50 of them to your brother's computer.
There you go.
Yeah. Oh God, he pulled out the floppy. Is that the original Wing Commander floppy?
No, this is one of Chris Roberts' earlier ones, Bad Blood.
Oh, Bad Blood. Oh.
Yep. Chris Roberts.
Wasn't there like a hardcore warning on the Wing Commander install? Like, be careful, you cannot cancel this install. It will take a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, that's a proper floppy disk.
Yeah.
Yep, that's a proper floppy.
Whoa.
We're completely disrailed for that, but I think I don't know. I think most of us are going to do a little bit of everything. Let's go around real quickly and ask. We'll start with Farah, since you're upside down. What other than being a space bartender? What do you think planning on doing?
I'm really getting excited for the exploration mechanics. I think my primary occupation in the game is going to be exploration. However, because I'm going to be doing it live on Twitch, I don't think I'll be able to sell information to anyone for any reason. So I'll have to support my income working as an escort for legitimate purposes only.
So if you
potentially doing some cargo hauling. Oh yeah, if you want a safe and secure time, go Farah Assault.
Just ask about the extra rates that he does on the side. Terrellian, how about you?
Honestly, after Grey-Headed Gamer said I should watch Firefly, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I'll probably end up making kind of a not a sequel, but like a continuation of what Firefly could have been in Star Citizen. I guess a YouTube series. I'll just make it by being a smuggler.
Too soon, man.
So
Too soon.
You're gonna be Mal.
Yeah.
Is that what you're trying to say? You're gonna be
Basically, but maybe a bit more slaughter, a bit more piracy. Less honor.
It's like Mal mixed with a healthy dose of Han kind of thing.
Like a Sith Mal.
A Sith
yeah.
Mal. A Mal Sith.
Darth Maul.
Yeah.
It's terrible. Terrible. Oh god, stop.
How about you, Cliffy?
I'm gonna be an opportunist.
AKA Cliffy has more ships than God, so he can kind of do whatever he wants.
Yeah, I'm mainly on the side of I'm going to apply the economic game, whether it's to do with science, exploration, or just space trucking. I'm going to be more of a ways to make money in the economy and become a businessman, basically.
And board?
So mainly I'm going to be doing economy-based stuff. My channel is going to be almost entirely mining, economy, how-tos on science, all that sort of jazz. Because it's much easier to teach for me than going, this is how you do combat badly.
Yeah.
But the thing I really, really want to do more than anything else is Idris v Idris, giant capital ship battles. I think that's what a lot of us want, like, and I want to do immediately. I want to ram Idrises into each other, do stupid stuff with capital ships.
Into the
full of
sun.
people.
Oh yeah, no, I mean
Yeah.
I remember the first time I
Why
played
not?
Elite in a combat zone and saw 2 capital ships duking it out in a conflict zone. Just like, oh my god, this is insane because there's players flying around and NPCs and these giant capital ships hitting me with like 15 missiles at the same time, depending on whose side I'm on.
It was Free Space 2 that was the first game that did that to me. That made me go, like, visibly inhale.
Yeah, you're flying along, a energy shot comes past and it shakes your ship. You're like, ah.
I'm going to take off my Vive now. I'm going to sit down for a while.
For me, honestly, I'll probably be doing. I'm going to be streaming live on Twitch, but I've made no bones that I'm going to do a entire run through with a game profile where I just start from having nothing, selling my initial starting ship, and just working as a
Good man.
as a crew member on multi-crew ships and recording the whole thing and putting it on like YouTube and stuff like that. So
I think that's a great idea. I think that would be awesome.
yeah,
I'm actually-
heavily inspired by people like Frankie on PC, who does some stuff like that with all the games he does. So I'm just like, I could do something like that. Cool, pretty cool. Since I know a lot of people who have lots of ships, aka Clifford's going to hire me for like 90% of his crews, and be like, I have no idea who this Captain Cliffy is. I'm just lowly man on the bottom, you know.
I'm actually really interested to stop by, all the different streamers and just kind of catching up with the stuff I know they're going to be doing. Like, I'll probably visit the Astropub on a regular basis. I'll probably do some more discreet cargo lifting for Greyheaded Gamer, just that kind of stuff, just to see everyone in the verse doing their thing.
Yeah. For those of you
be
who are
pretty
new, who
chill.
just came in from another channel, if you guys don't know what the Astropub is, it's actually going to be a space bar that I build out of my Banner Merchantman, which people can come
Yes.
visit and buy drinks. Like, you come in, get a drink, do some business on the side, whatever. It'll be kind of like a player-run bar, just like.
I like
Bar
that.
fight.
Instead of stream sniping, guys, I like the idea that we instead try and steal stuff from people that are cargo hauling, just little ones.
Yeah.
just until they notice.
Yeah, because,
Our whole E getting slowly picked dry.
well, what's also good about it is that the way they've shown the the cargoes, you'll be able to open it up and take individual stuff out and just kind of sneak out. Okay, I'm going to take this rifle. He's going to be sitting on. He's going to miss one.
I'm planning on being a stowaway. I'm just do playthroughs where I'm just gonna see how far I can go by like opening up a crate, taking all of the stuff out, and like just dumping it in the trash, and then like hiding in the crate, and see how
Oh my
long it
god, we
takes.
we can do series like First One to Terror, and you've got a hitchhike.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, that would be pretty good.
Like that.
I went-
His guide to Star Citizen.
yeah. Hitchhiker's got to get so
Wow.
how to be Hoopy Frood, all right.
I reckon I'll just do an odd job, a bit of air support and a caterpillar, just kind of cruising by a hull, just kind of helping them out, protecting them from
totally
pirates.
helping
Just
them.
meanwhile, the tractor beam's just kind of like doing its own
Don't
thing.
pay attention to the man on the tractor beam. All right, next question is from the Auntie. What do you think will happen in beta when you're a stowaway in the back of the ship that switches from horizontal to vertical, the Reliant or something? I can't remember the name. Yeah, I think the Reliant.
Alright, cool.
Pain. Lots of pain.
How would you be a stowaway? Okay, on a Reliant, you have to
The ship is like-
ninja.
You don't have to be a ninja. You just have to have really, really, really either super psyched or super like distracted pilots. Because
Just floating around in the back in zero gravity, just like.
I hope they do that. I really do hope that they do zero G when they go inverted, because otherwise it's going to be your character's going to ragdoll and then eventually glitch out of the back. It's probably what's going to happen if you sneak into the back there. You
That's a feature.
and then just out the back.
Oh God.
NDA.
Yeah, gotta be cautious. No, they did mention this on ATV. They said at the moment the Reliant, you can't actually get out of it while you're in flight, which is a
This
bummer.
Stowaway in the back, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, so
They said
I'm hoping to
you
get the Reliant sorted pretty quick.
That's a
'cause
question
honestly,
that other
kind of-
people I've seen asked on like RTV and other places. Like, so what happens if you're in the back of the Reliant when it takes off and goes into flight mode? Will it just refuse to go into flight mode because there's a dude in the back? Like how does that work?
NDA.
hang on.
Wouldn't
Hang on.
the gravity generator keep you in?
Yes,
They
yes,
haven't
that's
got gravity generators like that though. little ships, have they?
They're not supposed to. Like, the Aurora's not supposed to, but it does have it right now.
Just ragdoll the character, smack him into a wall. Be fun.
All right,
Just to get a stowaway, you're just constantly changing it in and out.
the next question is from the ante. The question is drink of choice. Whiskey sour.
Coffee? It's too early. Coffee.
Amaretto sour.
That's a good one.
Margarita.
Some nice bourbon. I'm a quite big bourbon drinker.
Good bourbon with a good cigar, definitely.
Yeah, bourbon cigar.
I don't smoke anymore.
I changed my vote. All right, next question comes from the ante again. Favorite ship doesn't have to be out in beta yet. Can be one that's going to come out later, and why? So let's have your favorite ship and what's going to. Let's start with the opposite. Let's start with board since we started with Phil last time.
It is still the Orion, but it's very, very close to being the Caterpillar. I love mining in games, and I want to mine in the Orion. It looks beautiful. I want to make it efficient, and the Caterpillar is just becoming a big capital ship now, slowly, day by day.
Didn't they even say it's kind of like a capital ship now?
They said it's kind of like a capital ship. Yes.
It's like a pirate capital ship, I guess.
No piracy. I'm not a pirate. I don't like piracy. I'm going to be fighting against piracy quite heavily.
Oops.
I do like the functionality of a Caterpillar.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, it's essentially being built like a pirate capital ship, and just like a regular capital ship, you can just kind of turn it into doing whatever the hell you want to, since you got the space.
Oh,
so
I would love to see, like, not a pirate capital ship, but not a civilian capital ship either, but kind of like almost like a floating city kind of thing, like whether it was, it could have. No, not an Endeavour.
Kilometer long ship that's a city.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen like some of those more gritty, kind of grimmer sci-fi shows, and they have these big refugee ships that are just kind of like they got trade stalls set up in them and everything?
Yeah, like,
not quite a Banu.
Kind of like in Mass Effect.
Like a flotilla ship in Mass. Yeah. That would be cool. Like just one particular ship,
like not the migrant fleet, the colonial fleet in Battlestar Galactica kind of thing. Yeah, like
haven't seen it, but definitely.
That's the other one. Okay, so now that you've seen Firefly, go watch the remake of Battlestar Galactica. All right, now you get both sides. You get the heavily action, like philosophical side of Battlestar, and the funny and philosophical.
I just started Stargate. You'll never win.
You haven't seen Star. Oh my god,
he's so young.
Going to end up with a very long
show
to watch.
I was gonna watch Dark Matter and The Expanse, but I can't find The Expanse anywhere in Australia legally.
Legally, yeah. I don't think you can
also
find it.
Killjoys.
Killjoys is good. Killjoys.
And Killjoys, that was the other one.
Luckily,
those
you can
three.
get through those pretty quickly because there's only been like a season of those, like maybe a season or two. I think there's only one season of all those things, and season 2s are coming up at the end of this year. So
I tend to be slow at watching shows though, but I did watch Firefly in a night and a bit, including the movie.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Cliffy, how about you? What's your favorite ship right now, and why?
So far, it's always been the alien ships, the Banu, Merchantman. So far, if they come out with some more, I lean towards the more alien ships because they don't have any really relation to things we're used to seeing in the real world. I like something unique and it's on its own. So
you're not alone there with the Banu Merchantman. Lots of us are waiting for Banu Merchantman patiently.
And then Merchant Myth.
CIG.
Especially when you see that thing, you saw the concept of the guns come out. That was pretty cool.
And Terrellian, how about you? What's your favorite?
Definitely a combination of Carrick and Caterpillar, like Unholy Love Child, just to make Serenity.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially the combination. No, I think that the Caterpillar is probably bigger than the Serenity now if they've been expanding it. From the sound.
Yeah, but it's more long rather than kind of that multi-layer sort of style that the Serenity has.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
it does have a catwalk.
That's kind of what the that's kind of.
Was that a sneaky pun? Did they just like put a catwalk in there just so they could say it?
Mm-hmm. Wait until we get pets, then you can put your cat on the catwalk inside the Caterpillar.
No.
And get a license plate that says meow.
You are not allowed to bring pets on ships in case the ship blows up and you lose Fluffy.
No, I'm bringing one of those little lobsters that are in a constellation demo. The crab lobsters.
The space crab, Hail space crab.
Yep. It's gonna be on my personal.
He's looking quite damaged now. Great.
Hail
What?
Space crab.
No.
Was that from Combustible Props?
No, I just 3D printed it.
Oh.
Well, like infringing on IPs.
I gotta do that.
All on one side.
All right, how about you, Ferris? What's your favorite ship so far?
This is a really tough decision at the moment. My answer is it was originally going to be the Carrack. The Carrack is my love child. I really do love that ship, but I'm falling more and more in love with the Freelancer every day. I really am. I think the Freelancer is going to be such a useful ship.
I think honestly, and people have asked me before, like, what kind of ship can I get for like $150? That's gonna make me do like that I can kind of do everything with. And my answer used to be the Cutlass, but I think now that's my answer is the Freelancer. I mean, I love the Freelancer,
Yeah,
but like having to play it and like experience it, I'm like it's a pretty versatile ship, and it's not just a single player. You don't have to just do it yourself. You can also bring other people on and become much more effective over time. So, yeah, no, I agree. My favorite ship is the Freelancer. It will always be my favorite ship because it is so versatile and awesome, and it's the
Millennium Falcon.
that's the Constellation. The
that's
Freelancer
what?
is the embodiment of the Serenity, but it's not the Serenity. It's like
Too pristine.
the thing about it is that it's too small too. But it's one of those like if you got a job, we'll take it. Don't care much what it is.
Well, that's why you have the
know?
Freelancer Max.
Yeah, that's Freelancer Max is if you got a job, we'll take it. Don't care much what it is.
It's got a big booty.
Now all we need is a mule.
Yes, no, CIG mule, please. A mule to go along with the Dragonfly. That's all.
Just make sure it's made by a Russian company.
Yes. Drake. I mean, just make a massive version of the Firefly and call it, or the Dragonfly and call it the Firefly. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to be able to call it the Moscow Mule. I'm just saying.
The Moscow Mule. Yeah. Well, Drake is essentially a Russian, aesthetic wise. So. Moscow.
Did you see one of the original concepts where the Dragonfly is about 3 times larger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would do, wouldn't it?
Kind of creepy looking, wasn't it? And menacing. Like, do you see the version where it just kind of...
Well, I
can imagine the legs just like pointing down. It goes into crab mode on the planet side.
I've seen a lot of people love the ship from Guardians of the Galaxy. His ship that he had was pretty
Moana?
To look that up.
Yes, that was a pretty cool ship.
That was a pretty cool ship. Now, Andy has the last 2 questions. Was that too many questions? Yes. And then his last question is, I missed your answer to the last guy's question. Could you repeat it, please?
No.
Stop it, Andy.
VOD.
You're done.
Or on YouTube.
All right. So Kodiak asks, so a version of the cargo mechanic seems to be in 2.7. Do you expect this cargo to be physically put into your ship or just in your inventory?
Physically put in the ship. Please in the ship. Please, physical ship.
I think
I imagine it's going to be automatic, but I really want grabby hands.
I think it's going to be a mixture of the two.
Pick everything up.
I think there's going to be some physicalized cargo in there, but a lot of the commodities and stuff are going to be very simplified with trading.
Well,
I think it's going to be a mix of the two.
I think they even said that grabby hands kind of is already in the game, but they're not planning on doing grabby hands, which you saw before. It's going to be a different system. Like grabby hands is kind of evolved past that original prototype build, and they're doing something different. So.
Well, even then, they don't have a type of. They don't need to grab hands. All they need is like that sled, like they talked about, and just have some normal sized crates like they've been showing. You just go up to it. It does an animation where it hooks up to it, and then you just push it over there. Drop it in your dough and do the same thing. It doesn't have to have a really... I just want to be able to physically move a box into whatever we're going to be shipping. That's what I want, at least for the start.
I mean, I don't even think we'll be able to get that. I think we'll be able to buy stuff. We might be able... No, I think... No. I
feel like that's a huge...
I think we have to, because, like, those locked boxes that hover around salvage zones are just giant cock teases about like selling it, because I want to take that box and I want to put it in the back of my freelancer, and then I want to
Pushing an EVA.
Yeah, EVA, push it back into my freelancer and sell what's inside of it. Like a giant Reddit safe.
I feel like it's kind of it's a big progression point. Like you start off, start of your career in the game. You've just got an Aurora. You have to, drag it through space. Just this individual crate, push it into the ship. So you have to consider, the risk versus reward for how long you're going to stay there. And then, towards the end of the game, you've got you've got a big freelancer. You've got guys you've hired to move your cargo in and out. You've got people that you deploy out the back to go and fetch it for you. I feel like that'd be a cool kind of part. Like, start off manual and then move up to automatic when you've got the money for it, if you want to.
I think, hopefully Clifford will agree with me on this, because Clifford plays a lot of Euro Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator like I do. I think they do the best way, like, they do some of the best kind of features when it comes to things like cargo loading. Like, because they have two options, at least last time I played it, if I remember correctly. They had, like, automatically hook it up as you get close, or you can go back and do it manually and perfect. And the automatically is, it's great, and it's great for speed, but if you do it perfectly, then you have a perfect shot of, like, getting out of the area where you picked it up and getting onto the highway or into the road much faster versus the auto pickup, which automatically puts you in a specific place.
And
I think
it's the same.
trade-off.
It's the same as Farming Simulator. They use the same concept where you back up, you connect to it, and there's an easy way and a little bit harder way sometimes. But I think they could do that. Like you said, especially like somebody starting out with Aurora, I think that's going to be mainly like an automation, because it's just this big crate that just slides up, attaches.
Yep.
So that will probably be an automated one, or for the first iteration is, okay, you go in there, you buy your cargo, then you come out, and they might show you either a cutscene, or you might actually see the guys, the animation, these guys are just loading it in your dome. Okay, you're ready, and he says, hey, you're ready to go. Physically looks at you if it has the new, system in where they, recognize it's you, and they just say, hey, you're off, and then you just give them a salute, and they reaction back to you, and then you get in your ship and go without having to touch the cargo, but you still saw them physically loaded in.
Yeah, no, I think that's going to happen, but I think you could also just easily just be like, I'm going to take this mission to haul this cargo, and then I'm going to go to Kasaba Outlet, I'm going to get myself some new shoes, I'm going to get myself some styling jackets, I'm going to take a look at some of these hats, and then like 30 minutes later, you're like, okay, I got the perfect outfit, and you come back, and it's already there in your ship. But still, like, if you just decided to walk over your ship in the middle of that shopping spree, you'd see the guys loading it in and putting it in still.
Like in the freelance commercial at the end. That was pretty cool.
Pulling stuff off,
Yeah.
All right, next
sipping coffee.
Next question comes from Human Evil. The other day, I trolled my 6-year-old niece regarding Pokemon Go. Was that evil of me?
Yes.
No.
Your name is
I'm ashamed.
She never saw the original anime. She doesn't understand. She has no right to Pokemon. Troll her.
And Board,
Ruthless.
Board in his advanced years is becoming the Eric McKetton of YouTube Star Citizen creators with get off my lawn tactics.
I remember.
I meant to be the.
That reminds me of the first scene in Spaced where God, what's his name? Simon Pegg is working. He's like, you don't understand it. You weren't there at the beginning. And then because it's a kid buying a Jar Jar Binks doll, and he's just like, you don't understand. It's just not commercialized, and This.
I remember the genesis of dubstep, okay, or what I call it, noise.
Noise.
And oh man, people have
Get
no
off
right
my
to things.
porch.
Pokemon.
I am,
you don't see it.
and for the record, I am only like 2 years younger than Board, so
it's coming. This rage is coming.
This rage is coming.
It's around the corner for you.
I next year, or come January next year, I'm just gonna suddenly become super angry about everything.
You've never seen Babylon 5?
How old are you, Board?
Oops.
31.
Oh God, I'm older.
I feel old.
Oh, you guys feel old at 31?
I'm 35 right now.
I'm only 29, so.
Well, that's most of the Star Citizen communities around that age.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but
Usually older as well.
Yeah,
But-
30s.
Whoa, young whippersnapper, what do you mean around that age?
What do you mean that age? Well, the one thing is that you just don't understand. Like we grew up playing certain types of video games, and then or certain types of like cultural references, and we make those cultural references, and your generation goes, what's that? It's like, what's you don't
Honestly,
know like you said, I've never seen Battlestar Galactica, and it was just like
or Babylon 5.
or Babylon 5.
Oops.
Babylon 5 is understandable. It's like that was almost 30 years ago now. It's over 30 years ago.
It's not undertrue. I'm running a generation.
Boy, you're not old. You just look old.
It's true. Okay, so when I got to about 29, the anger built up inside me. All my hair fell out, and I got old because I'm
I get it. I cracked the case. It's called Squadron 42 because most of the players are going to be about 42.
42.
Wow.
Oh,
And then you got
it's
Mark
called Squadron
Hamill,
42 because
man.
that's how old you have to be to play it.
I'm not sure if some of these people have seen Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. A lot of people don't have the rights to say things. You don't have the right to use that number.
All right, next question is from Handsome Devil 101. If someone's an Evocati, can they tell us if they are in the early PTU or they're not even allowed to do because of NDA?
Yes, they can tell you that they're in the Evocati if they want.
Yeah.
Yes.
They don't have to.
But they don't recommend doing it.
I don't think the Evocati can talk about if they're testing builds actively, but generally speaking, CIG is pretty open about that, or there are avenues that CIG hasn't closed that you can identify if they are or not. There's no confirmation unless CIG specifically says it, though. So Evocati can say that they're Evocati, but they can't talk about what they're doing or when they're doing it.
They can just post it on YouTube.
They're not supposed to.
That annoys me. So
No.
Report. Just
It was...
Get that early video stuff, yeah.
Yeah, I guess we won't bring up that topic, but
Yeah,
the only thing I'll
let's not talk
mention
about
is...
that because some people are under NDA and they can't talk about that.
Yeah.
The Vanisher
Fortunately, I'm
underscore
not.
asks, when do you think we'll start seeing variants of the Freelancer? When Squadron 42 is out?
I think after. I honestly think we'll be starting to see the larger ship variants come out post Squadron 42.
I agree. Yeah,
Yeah, seems reasonable.
they need time to make the.
That might be slightly different if the game goes gold a little bit before it basically gets released.
It's going to depend. Yeah, it's going to depend on if they intend to do a retail store release of Squadron 42.
I think they are. I think the limited retail store release.
It might come out around the same time. I honestly think when that game's gone gold, they're going to go, oh, we've got loads of artists that we can get to develop all of the ships simultaneously, and it won't take much longer to get a lot of the stuff done. I think as soon as that game's live, we're gonna see so much progress so quickly.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get ships. We'll probably get 2-3 ships a patch, maybe in some cases.
At least.
Because the other thing is that we don't realize that they're still working on the palette. Like they finished the Misk palette, they've finished the Aegis palette. We're working on the Drake palette right now. We still have the Anvil palette and the.
You saw the speed of like the
RSI is getting revisited too.
RSI, yeah. And so once the Origin. So once we get all of those 6 major manufacturers done, and we're almost halfway there, then it'll just be a matter of them just dropping components into the ships that they're already like ship designs. So
actually, that's it. I'm really excited to see what. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do about Crusader Industries. I'm looking forward to more stuff from Crusader Industries. I like the designs.
I think it's going to be very
What else have they made?
Aegis though, so I think we'll see a lot of Aegis designs in there, just because Aegis is all the military warships. So
What has Crusader made?
The Genesis Starliner so far.
Oh, right, yeah, we haven't seen that yet. Still waiting on.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that whole transport system.
The one thing I liked about it, though, the reason why I picked up several of them, it was showing a lot of the military capabilities of it, because they showed how much Marines they could hold in it, how much armory they could hold in it. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pick a couple of those up.
Starliners, yeah. I mean, the Starliners seem to be very niche, but like, look at like the insanity of people who are super excited about transporting people in Elite Dangerous is really high. Like, just ask any hardcore Elite Dangerous, like, are you excited about transport missions, like people transport missions, you know, or whatever, like passenger missions, and they'll just almost 100% be like, yes, I love transports. And I don't even think it'll be nearly as immersive in Elite as it will be in Star Citizen because of how the first-person perspective works. So... I think people are excited about that.
GHG's plan is to take an Argo and transport people back and forth across Olisar just to get from pads A and B to C and D.
Yeah.
That's his plan at the moment for 2.5.
Oh man, that's
He's got to stow them away in the cargo variant though. Can't have any of those fancy-dancy
Yeah.
passenger ones.
All right. Next question comes
Does he
from
not?
Greyface LV. What do you guys think could come in the way of development of non-lethal weapons for, say, law enforcement or bounty hunters? If you can implicate a wanted man, our law, or incapacitate a wanted man, our law, and transport them back, our outlaw, I think is what he meant to say. How do you think the incarceration or penalty will be enforced on said criminal? So it's
They've
funny
already
that you asked
talked about
that.
it, haven't they?
I think what he's asking is there going to be non-lethal weapons, and what will happen when you get captured if you're a
A
pirate?
big stick.
Beat him with a big stick. That's the Australian method of
Pull-
punishment.
Just
Pull pews, chairs, tables.
whip out, whip out.
I was going to go all Saints Row on them.
Giant floppy dildo.
It's a big stun stick and handcuffs.
Well, whip out an ass.
Let me-
And
Oh no, we're gonna get that.
that.
We need the Tavaran Dojo. Learn some non-lethal fighting techniques.
There you go.
Okay, there's two different parts to this one. The first one is ship-to-ship combat. Yes, there's less than lethal weapons. It's not working right now, except in a very limited way through the EMP. But distortion-based weapons are designed to blow fuses and cause components to go faulty, with the potential ability to completely disable a ship. That's designed so that you can board, capture, or extort, basically. And then you've got the first-person shooter combat. We haven't seen anything about the actual weapons we'll be able to use. They have mentioned that melee attacks in this game are not going to be a one-hit kill. So potentially we could use melee to disable someone. I do hope, and they have expressed, this is about 18 months ago, they have expressed intent to do less than lethal captures. But like I said, I haven't seen anything about
express
that.
intent. There's actually lore that they built into it. Microtech is actually a company that builds less than lethal weapons specifically for capturing and disabling people.
Joker will probably have some as well somewhere.
But yeah,
The
no,
entire factory is just a forest.
yeah, Microtech.
Bunch of sticks.
Sticks. Microtech is the company that makes the Moby glasses. By the way, they're the
Yep.
they're the Apple
Oh.
of Star Citizen.
From the Frost Planet.
Yeah, on the Frost planet. So it makes sense that they're
I'd
also.
like to see.
Put
Has
them on
anyone
ice.
seen- It was an anime called Psychopaths, and they have these weapons in it that detects people's kind of like their
Criminal
psychic
abilities,
rating,
yeah.
you could do that for sort of like how if they're wanted, you can open fire on them with a non-lethal, or if they're like really high level wanted, you can automatically switch to a lethal mode for you, depending on the bounty. If you just want a quick and easy kind of sort of a tool.
Yeah.
Didn't the first Avenger sale include a less than lethal fight hand?
a stun
Cutlass
baton.
Blue.
Yeah.
I thought that was a
Yeah, it was the advocacy tools that came
Switch,
with like handcuffs and a stun baton. It's like it's either there's either advocacy tools or a great weekend night, for
I'm kind of hoping
things get a bit
with,
weird.
yeah.
with item 2.0 and the ship pipeline system by 2.7, here's to hoping, we can start to see that implemented. Like the sucker punches will no longer be just hitting another ship with a wet noodle. It'll actually do something.
I just want like size 2, 3, and 4 sucker punches or equivalents.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Size
the
5,
sucker
just
punches are only size
massive
1, right?
EMP blast.
Yeah, the sucker punches are size 1, which is why I've been considering getting a PCB2 and putting 4 of them on there.
All right. Next question comes from Kochma. He asks, in the PC Games article, it mentions planets and moons would move in orbit. How do you guys think this would work? Was going to work with the max speed cap? Imagine jumping from one moon and getting hit by. Getting hit with a 20 meters per second.
I'm going to get hit by planetary bodies quite often in this game. I know it. I'll go AFK, I'll come back, and I'll just been hit by a moon.
Or
It'll
a
add some
rogue asteroid
character
or
to your
something.
ship. a bit of personality damage.
Personality damage.
I mean, they're not going to be that fast, are they, as they're traveling? I suppose moons could be.
I mean, relatively speaking, planets move slow compared to ships that are flying around it. So they could probably cheat and have them move like 1 meter per second rather than like the actual speed that planets would move, but relative to how ships move. But yeah, no, it sounds like it's pretty simple for them to figure this out. I mean, if you think about it, Elite Dangerous and No Man's Sky have the same technology, and they're both. With Elite Dangerous, it's been in their technology for 20 years to have these kind of rotational physics and everything. So,
And Infinity Battlescape has it.
And Infinity Battlescape has it. So Star Citizen was poised to be the only space game in the modern generation of space games that wasn't going to have something like that. So I'm glad they're going to have it. And so at the end of the day, I think there's going to be a lot of pilots crashing into moons. That totally came out of nowhere.
There's no moon?
Exactly.
You'd have to be there for quite a while, though, wouldn't you, to get hit by it?
You kind of have to, like... They even said that they're thinking about doing things like jumping from orbit to closer to planetary surface for planetary landings, because just going from space to surface takes forever right now with the current, like, how big these planets and planetoids are. So you would really have to try to smash into a planet by doing so, especially if it's got an atmosphere. You wouldn't smash into the planet so much as you would burn up in the atmosphere as you're coming in, especially if you're not doing the right landing mode or whatever.
It's a rapid, unplanned disassembly event.
Yes.
Yes. I do kind of wonder, there's quite a few, but there's not that many planets in the Star Citizen universe compared to, say, obviously No Man's Sky and Elite Dangerous with their procedural.
Quintillion!
Yeah, quintillion. Yeah, whatever. They could just be making that number up, and they've only got really, just too many to count anyway. I don't think you're going to be landing all that much. I mean, the time spent going between planets, obviously. You don't want things to be too slow. Same with why they're doing getting into vehicles a bit faster. But I guess you could have like. If you watch the original procedural generation video, the ship sped up to 2,000 kilometers an hour, which was crazy. But you could have it so when landing on a planet manually, you can only go at your usual speed when you're landing. But if you select the landing point, your ship can go to a faster speed, for example.
Yeah, I think they're going to have some sort of way of getting down there faster than it is currently. I think either a jump, like a mini quantum or something like that, or maybe like a cutscene or something like that, just to get you closer. Or you can fly it all the way in, because there'll be those people who are like, I'm not going to fly this all the way. I'm not going to want to fly this all the way in. I'm just going to cut in. And there'll be people who are like, I want to land this on the planet. For either hard mode or because I'm trying to avoid certain scanners or trying to land in a secluded part of the planet that nobody else is supposed to be at, sort of thing. So... All right, next question is from Vandu Lover. If you were bitten by a space zombie or impregnated by an alien, would you tell the rest of your crew or let them find out the hard way?
Find out the hard way. It'd be more funnier.
It depends on, like, is this impregnated, like you and your alien lover decided to get sweet space love and you find out that, congratulations, you're pregnant? Or is this like the xenomorph queen is like stuck her tentacles into your butthole and made you pregnant? Because if it's the former, yeah, sure, why not tell them? But if it's the latter,
I'm not sure if you've seen Alien.
I have seen Aliens. I'm not. Face huggers are not something that I want to think about.
I'd say I would mention it. They'll find out one way or another.
Confirmed that the Astropub is in fact a human-ish, but he's mostly a seahorse.
Mostly a seahorse.
I mean, why wouldn't you tell your crew? You'd go, right, guys, so we need to go to the nearest endeavour as quickly as we can. Not a sciencey one, no, the hospital one. Because tentacles in the bum, no bad time.
I don't know how much anime you've watched.
I've seen enough anime to know where this is going. Oh, God. But yeah,
you know what that makes me think of?
What's that?
God.
I really want to see. Oh god, no. I really want to see a ship like Prometheus, the Prometheus ship from Prometheus.
Well, that's what the Carrack was inspired by.
Really?
Yeah, they specifically
But
said.
the Carrack's a bit smaller.
It's a smaller, but
compared
like if you
to
look at
that.
the lines and the design, it's very similar to the Prometheus from Prometheus. All right, the next question comes from Kochma again. What's the worst you guys think Squadron 42 and its reception at release will be? Could be.
Huh?
So he's like, what's the worst reception that Squadron 42 could possibly have in your life?
How are we rating that?
Like
5 out of 7. What do you want from me?
5 out of 7. I think what he's trying to say is like, do you think that the
space.
average reception, like, do you think the worst it could be would be like, oh, this game sucks, it's terrible, the acting's and writing's a garbage, the gameplay is buggy and crappy, or do you think the worst will be, meh, it was forgettable?
I mean, the worst it could be is it would give me a fit when I tried to play it, I suppose. I mean,
It wouldn't work. FPS.
that's the worst
Yeah.
possible situation.
If someone said I would rather sit in a room and watch The Room on loop endlessly, then yeah, that's probably yeah.
Let's go back to the development phase. Oh, I enjoyed 2.0 more.
All right. Next question's from Kochma. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Trek.
Star Citizen, to quote Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Oh, boom.
Farrah?
Definitely Doctor Who.
Doctor Who. Okay. And Cliffy?
No.
We get
Nah,
to choose
Star-
things that aren't in the
Star
question.
Citizen.
Yeah.
Because they're sarcastic.
No, really, I actually, I guess any sci-fi, right?
It's Star
Show?
Trek or Star Trek or Star Wars.
I still like.
The question is
Star
just
Wars.
Star Trek or Star Wars. Or
Yeah,
Star Trek.
Star Wars. I like Star Wars better.
Okay. I will say Trek, and the only reason why I say Trek is because there are five series over that each have something like
Probably more now.
Yeah, so with each having something like 5 to 6 seasons, most of them have like 5 to 6 seasons. So if you just want to watch something on like some science fiction, you have a lot more options, plus a bunch of movies for Star Trek.
I mean, The Next Generation was a masterpiece. Come on.
I'd say Star Wars for its games and such.
Yeah,
I
because
mean,
then you have Star
stories
Wars, you
in
have its games, its extended universe, which is all about
KOTOR, SPOTOR, etc. That was all good stuff.
But
Yeah, Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest, yes.
Oh yeah,
By Grabthaw's hammer.
You shall be avenged.
shall be avenged.
That's a great.
That would be great. That made me sad because he's not alive anymore.
Too soon.
Crushing your dreams. All right. Greyface LV asks, I'm really hoping that your avatar movement is adequately restricted to force realistic human movement, appropriate to the environment they're in. This way, the typical jackrabbit movement you see in FPS games today, with players hopping around, bouncing around with automatic weapons, will be revved up like revved up crackheads. A good example of this would be the cinematics that introduced. If not, IMO. As soon as you see people bouncing around, Jesus, man, hold on. It's just then it cuts off. It's just constant. Let me read the full.
I think he just wants to not have bunny hopping.
Okay. There's a few ways they're going to combat that, I imagine. First, stamina.
You're always going to have someone moving the fastest, though. There will be a meta to move. In EVA, it could be doing 2 steps and then pushing off, and then using your jetpack and then landing again. There'll always be some form of management to your movement that will be the fastest.
Mm-hmm.
And people will get annoyed about it because some people are really fucking good at it.
Mm-hmm. And I think at the end of the day,
good. That's the point of the game.
I don't think we'll have bunny hops and that kind of stuff because we're not dealing with like people. We're dealing with wall running. We're not dealing with massive sliding. We're not dealing with jetpacks and all that kind of stuff. And
we are dealing with jetpacks, and we are dealing with no gravity, then low gravity.
Yeah, but we're dealing with jetpacks in a relative motion. Like when you start from 0 and you jetpack, or even if you have a motion, you jetpack, it'll still.
We might have grappling hooks as well. I mean, this is all going to mix together into some sort of weird.
That's the thing.
Yeah, that's what the that's what the Sataball is the on the pistol. Like,
Oh, see, here I thought it was just some dudes throwing meatballs at each other in space, and I was like,
all right.
You're so hyped
All
with that.
I will have to say this because the fact you just told us you don't know half of the science fiction that most of us grew up with. Have you seen the most recent Ender's Game movie? Go watch Ender's Game. Go watch Ender's Game.
I haven't.
And watch the battle arena, and then you'll see exactly what Sadaball is supposed to be.
Alright, so
Have you played
on the
Blitzball
screen
from
is
Final Fantasy X?
no. I played
I'm
Hotball
gonna say-
from SWTOR, if that counts.
At this point, I'm fairly sure that Terrellian understands how Captain America feels like in the later movies.
Yeah,
Everyone recommends movies to him.
yeah. You have to
I'll
get
get
list.
there. I'll get there. Right, hang on, before we change. Stamina is one way they're going to combat that. Number two, and I demonstrated this very interestingly to Paul the other day.
Yes.
Is your firing is tied to your animations. In a jump animation, it's not going to be like Counter-Strike where you've got your gun pointed forwards, you're jumping and firing forwards. If you jump, your gun's going to fire wherever the hell it's facing. I was doing a dance and while I was streaming, and I was
by
just
the way,
holding the
Trillian,
trigger down. It's guns.
I've showed that off to several CIG days, and they're like, I have never seen this before. How do you?
It was great. The first time I saw it was a guy was dancing. He had an arrowhead shotgun in his hand. He's going about and stuff. He pulls the trigger and it goes off and kills the guy right next to him. Shoots him right in the head. He's gone.
Yeah, I do it
And
with the
they just
cheering
all kind of
animation.
stood there like,
With the cheering animations,
shit.
you go, yeah! And if you have the gun in hand, you can fire the gun, and so it looks like you're cheering and shooting your gun wildly into the air.
yeah. You could have a pistol out, give someone the finger, and you're just firing at them while you're doing it. It's great.
Wherever
Yes,
the gun
that's
is
why
facing, yeah.
it won't be possible. You won't be able to bunny hop.
No, because the gun, literally where the gun moves is where the bullets will go. It's not like where you jump and your bullets coming out of your forehead towards the enemy.
Exactly.
So the next question comes from Gotta Catch 'Em All. If you were a Pokemon, which one would you be? Example, board would equal Lickitung or Diglett. Kappa.
Whoa. I'd be Scyther! Oh my god, I love Scyther so much.
Scyther?
He's the best. He's the best Pokemon.
I'm gonna go with the controversial choice and be Magikarp.
Go.
Why? Because he turns into the most epic of Pokemon.
Well, then why would you?
Yeah, why not just be the epic?
Because
Yeah.
it's about the journey, not the destination.
Oh, here we go.
All right.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah, but
I'd
it's-
quite clearly be Psyduck.
Yeah. Oh, that Australian joke.
Oh
Cliffy,
god.
if you could be if you were a Pokemon, which one would you be?
Oh god, I definitely wouldn't be a Pokemon. I'm sorry.
You just wouldn't be a Pokemon.
Pokemon is the poorest excuse of anime I've ever seen. I don't want to be associated with it.
How dare you?
No, there's so much more better. I mean,
Oh, come on.
Cliffy is an anime purist. Let me put it that way.
I'm sorry. Akira, a bunch of other stuff. Wait, I'm sorry. Pokemon, go sit over there on the side in the trash can or something. Because I'm sorry.
I'm wounded.
Voltron, Transformers,
Death of a
Robotech,
spaceman right here.
Monocross. That's
None of
way
which
better.
have Pokemon in. You're right.
Yeah.
Hang on, the games came before the anime.
Yeah, the anime was built before the
Pokemon
games.
Yellow was my childhood.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
such-
just.
Pokemon Yellow, the best Pokemon game. I agree with you there.
I'm sorry. I can't. No.
The anime is pretty cringy.
All right. Let's
head
get
as
back
a
on
drawing
topic because we've got like 5 minutes we're supposed to be over
Right,
with. So
yeah.
let's move on.
Charizard.
We started late, just went over time.
Yeah, you run over a little bit, but I also want to respect people who are in like board who's currently working on like 1 a.m. or something like that over there. So
I am going on Grey-Headed Gamers stream later at 4.
are you gonna get smashed on the stream? You have to get smashed on the stream. It's the best experience is to get smashed on the stream.
I'm yet to be invited to Not So Sober Saturday.
So Gray, if you're watching, invite Farah because Farah will probably be the most sober person on that show, even though he's like 3 sheets to the wind.
When I was on the show, Gray wasn't even drunk. Neither of us were. It's just kind of sober Saturday, really.
Sober Saturday.
A normal
I'm
Saturday.
confused.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So the next question comes from Meme. At the start of the year, do you think CIG was aiming for 2.7 for Gamescom with the monthly patches, etc., before the server issues held things back?
No.
I think the
2.6.
content for 2.7 was always planned on being end of the year, but I don't think they were planning on Gamescom. which is why they didn't release the information about Gamescom being shown off. The thing that we're not supposed to talk about because Brian told it to people at Gamescom or at BrizenCon, and then everyone went to Reddit and talked about the presentation that they're going to be doing at Gamescom.
Wait, what? Oh, I missed this.
Yet another thing Torelli has missed.
Christ.
So, that's literally the situations that they probably didn't have anything. They didn't even think they were going to have anything because they didn't know where they were going to be at the time. They didn't want to plan that far ahead. And piss people off because they were like, I'm going to spend $1,000 to go see CIG, and then CIG ends up being like, nope, we don't really have any
Just show them
show.
fast animations.
Yeah.
You can get into your Aurora 0.2% faster.
It's also worth noting that the original reason
Not
why
into
they
the
said
seat
they-
though, just into the middle part.
That's a
Sorry.
little part. Go ahead.
It's also worth noting that the original reason why they said that they weren't going to be doing a party or a show at Gamescom was because they're in serious crunch time right now for Squadron 42. And they were expecting from my interpretation, I don't think they were expecting to have any giant progress steps to show off at that point.
But I think that's totally wrong from a advertising point of view. Now is the time for them to go, look guys, look what we've got, the game's coming out, hype, sell.
Yeah, especially since...
Yeah, they're closing in. 5 months to go.
Especially if they're going to be releasing it at the end of the year. My biggest concern was that they were going to release at the same time as Mass Effect Andromeda, and while Mass Effect Andromeda isn't, Mass Effect 3 or Mass Effect 2 doesn't have that kind of hype behind it, it's still freaking,
A memorable
that's an RPG.
sci-fi genre of
that
game.
people know about. It's,
Yes.
it's a sequel, so it would drown
It's
out a lot of
iconic. Yes,
the-
it's iconic.
It's iconic, and it's gonna be released for the consoles and PCs. So it's one of those like what I always dreaded being a Halo fan. I always dreaded when Call of Duty would come out with the next Halo series because I knew that if Halo would have about like 2 weeks of highlight, and then everyone would leave to go play Call of Duty for the rest of the year because that's what came out. And so that's what I was like, no, please don't do that. Please don't be like releasing after Mass Effect. Now Mass Effect's gonna push back to next year. Now's the time that they can like really push it and be like, this is Squadron 42.
Closing in fast.
Yeah, what I see, it would have been funny if people spent $1,000 to go to Gamescom. All it is they show this one clip video where Mark Hamill is walking in his suit and he looks at you. You're gonna love Squadron 42. Then walks
And
off.
just walks out.
And
Oh my God.
It's crazy. There you go. That's our new shit. Sorry.
Mark
You're
Hamill
like,
is the best. He's the best advertiser for it, especially when, like I said earlier, that question someone was like, Star Trek, Star Wars, Star Citizen.
What would have been awesome for Gamescom? I mean, the biggest advertiser. All of a sudden, he walks out in a full Star Citizen get-up suit and just signs autographs and shit. That would build so much fucking hype for it. I swear to God, that would be the biggest seller.
Know what a Star Citizen suit really looks like at the moment. It's not iconic enough yet.
Nope.
Yeah.
Well,
I
I think
think,
the flight suit that he's in there.
Yeah, when he gets in
all the
the
promo videos
Gladius, yeah.
I think that is going to.
Okay.
It's not iconic yet, but I think that's going to be because that's going to be the
It will
UE flight suit that people wear. That's like you will
In-
most of them.
I think it was on Not So Sober Saturday I said this, but I think the best way to advertise Star Citizen at the moment would be just before the screening of whether it's Rogue One or the next Star Wars movie after that, is to have Mark Hamill just straight up say, plain and simple, in game of course, say, I guess isn't the only galaxy that needs saving, and then just come up with Squadron 42.
Well, I joked about that about a year ago.
Yeah,
and apparently there were rumors, and I think like a couple of months ago that said that they actually purchased time before Rogue One. That Sandy went out and said that they were purchased time before Rogue One, because that's what Elite Dangerous did. Elite Dangerous purchased some airtime in the UK and in certain US cities to run an.
No wonder we never see it here. I was
new
like,
Star Wars film, and they didn't do a preview like those film previews, but it was like a quick trailer they'd throw up on the like before the preview started, before the film actually started. And apparently that trailer alone, that limited run, got them a huge spike in sales because people wanted to go watch this new Star Wars, and they came back and were like, "Oh, Elite Dangerous, this looks really cool. It looks like Star Wars," and like that Star Wars experience. But with Mark Hamill in Squadron 42, all you got to do is have Mark Hamill walk on as his character, or have his character walk on and be like, "What? You're expecting someone different?" And then Star Citizen, just come see it.
just start out with his face and then zoom out, and he's in a uniform.
Yeah.
It's like, by the way, there's this.
It's like in this world, I do not use the Force. It's all brute military might.
Something like that.
Well, I will say that the Elite Dangerous trailer was before Star Wars for me.
Yeah.
Like when I went and saw it, there was no Elite Dangerous trailer.
It wasn't for me, but I knew that it was in select. I think it was was it like a preview trailer, like a movie preview trailer, or was it like those commercials they run before the actual previews start?
It was a commercial before the previews.
Yeah, because it wasn't for me when I went to go see it, but I went to go see it like a week after it released because they wanted to wait for some of the hype, the stuff to die down. So, all right. So next question comes from predictions. At which point do you think the floodgates will open? We'll see a lot of gameplay features come out at once. If they release just one feature every 2 months patch, it will take forever. So I'm assuming at one point they'll be like, here's 10 features. I don't think they'll ever be here's 10 features. I think they've got about 7 things they need to do before those floodgates open, though.
Early mid next year.
Yeah,
I'd say.
I think as soon as Squadron 42's out, they'll have the ability to get a lot of features out if necessary quickly. They just have
so
so
much
many
that's
more
not in.
assets available.
I mean they need the piping system, they need the new interaction system, and then
What inner thought? Yeah.
the inner thought system.
Inner
Once
thought.
they get those
Yeah.
2 things out, then they need to start working on the new sensor system. They need to work on like IFF systems and like new like multi-crew integration systems. All of those things are required for things like cargo, mining, bounty hunting, piracy, smuggling, racing. Well, yeah, even racing. Like the ability to tweak your ship just in small little ways, and have multi-crew stations working, and being able to do things like, hey, there's an alert. It's like, oh, the back of my freelancer's opening. Someone's trying to steal my ship. Like that ICC mission where it's just like, oh, that's weird. Says that airlock was triggered. Like we don't even have that ability right now, and that's one of those things that'll be key for piracy or for bounty hunting and all that kind of stuff. Plus, all the features dealing with we're trying to prevent quantum quantum jumping in and out, preventing or disabling ships entirely. Interdictions, all that stuff needs to be put in for a lot of these stuff to work. So a lot of the features are based on the core game mechanics, which just aren't finished yet. So once those core game mechanics are finished, then we'll start seeing a lot of these features start jumping in just as an extension of those core game mechanics. So
I agree. I don't think we're going to see a point where there's going to start dropping massive amounts of features. What I do think we'll see is a breaking point for content. So once they've got procedural planetary tech really nailed down, as well as voxel tech really nailed down, we'll suddenly see an explosion of like new places to go, new systems to see. Despite the fact they might not have the landing zones on them yet, we'll start seeing planets, we'll start seeing asteroid belts, we'll start seeing, hopefully, the asteroid belt that I've suggested towards the game, which is an asteroid belt called Forums, which is entirely explosive mineral salt based asteroids. That go mine forums for salt.
yeah, you gotta get them for those margaritas though, and that's important. Those margarita asteroids are going to be worth a lot of money.
Yep, it's a critical ingredient in the Pangalactic Gargle Buster.
It is. Next question comes from Waiting. With the vast size of planets and moons and the max speed of ships in flight, do you think CIG will balance top speeds for flying around planets or landing versus having it fun and not taking forever? Example, CIG had sped up 2,000 meters per second while showing its test and small planet demo.
Yes.
I think it'll be a combination of the two.
CIG tends to choose fun over realism.
But
That's
I don't
just
think they're
seems
gonna
to be their
limit-
go-to.
I don't think they're going to limit people who want to land manually.
Yeah, of course.
I think there's going to be like that trade-off where, like, yeah, sure, you can just do the fast movement, but you're not going to have any control over where you're going in. Like you're
At the moment. Oh, actually, hang on. Slightly under NDA for this part. I'm not though. At the moment, I do believe it is automatically. I was just reading this off a Reddit post. Once you approach the 5 meters, it goes to automatic landing. And I think that kind of makes sense for civilized areas. They wouldn't allow people to manually land because that would be a huge health and safety risk. But I do think there should be manual landing for abandoned areas, pirate areas, and planets.
Yeah, like
I think it should go one step further than that. I don't think you should be able to automatically land unless there's a landing pad.
Yeah, I mean, it makes
So,
sense. Or
if-
someone
if-
actually controls
Yes.
like an NPC in an area. Like for
I think
instance,
that's how it
like
is.
Korea, whereas Korea doesn't have anybody in it right now. So
Yeah, it doesn't make.
even though there's a
I guess if
there's
it's
a
like
landing
tagged
pad,
as a landing point.
If I want to land in a random field, my computer shouldn't go automatically landing.
yeah.
Like, well, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, you should be able to like say, hey,
Optional.
you can scan the surface and be like, oh, 5 meters, 2 meters, 1 meter, touchdown, sort of thing. Maybe, but that would be should be
Just beeping.
a trade-off.
Constant beeping.
It's a trade-off between like I'm gonna land safely, but it's gonna take me forever. It's gonna be like the little grannies on their mopeds, going super slow down the side of the road, versus like the dude in his motorcycle zipping around and getting into a parking spot and going much faster. It's much
Yeah.
more
I
dangerous on a
tend to
motorcycle,
land.
but you can get there faster.
I tend to land kind of like how they put down the submarine in down periscope.
Next question comes from Vanisher _ what is the worst thing that could happen to stall the project right now?
I know.
Chris.
Brian Chambers gets sick.
Yes.
I honestly,
No, 'cause-
the only thing that could happen is because I don't even think if funding dried up today, I think they'd still be fine. I think the worst thing that could possibly happen is
Data
if
wipe.
they get into a
Oh.
legal battle with somebody, like CryEngine or something like that. A big protracted legal battle would be probably the worst thing that can happen to this
Yeah,
project.
it would have to be something that blocks their release. So it would be like the procedural tech they're using,
Yeah.
owned by someone else, and they're not allowing them to.
Realistically speaking, yes. Unrealistically speaking, data wipe. All the servers
All
die.
the servers just data wipe. I'm sure they've got like backups.
Studios
of
catch
backups.
fire.
I'm sure there's a backup that's locked in some vault in the Swiss and in some Swiss bank. That's like that gets updated every build that Chris flies out personally, just because they're super careful about this kind of stuff.
A bill in America to ban violent computer games, something like that. I mean,
Yeah.
that would damage it somewhat.
It's already happening down here.
You're on Australia.
A fair bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next question comes from Rub's board ahead for good luck.
Good luck.
Rub board's head for good luck, I think is what it means.
Yeah.
At board, a few new streamers, some big, to Star Citizen, I noticed, have trouble finding information on Star Citizen in a quick to easy way, easy to understand. It's easy to understand why. Have you thought about making a small vid answering common streamer questions and rebuttals for trolls and call it Star Citizen Streamers for 5 minutes or something?
I believe the noob fire.
He did it in 3 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. I'd like to see that more in depth. So.
What were you saying, Board?
I do a monthly FAQ video where I try and answer all of the hot topics and stuff like that. And I've got videos that probably cover it already. But yeah, you're right. Maybe something more tailored to common FAQ questions that will always be relevant is a good idea.
The honest to God answer is that we were talking about this on StarCast a year ago, about how CIG needs some sort of media package to hand new content creators and just be like, hey, this is all the information you need, based on...
Signpost them.
Yeah, so it's just, if they want to do more information, then you point them to like, okay, this is INN, this is the official site, this is the Reddit, these are places you can go for finding information, but this is all the basic information you need to understand to get started, and easy to read format that's not like a 100-page document, but like a page and a half or something like that, or two-sided of like a PDF that they could look at, a 2-page PDF, or like a 30-second, like a couple-minute video.
A 2-page PDF, that's been like 1-point font.
But yeah, no, I agree. I think there's and honestly, Star Citizen is also one of those gamers. I mean, as a streamer, I can, and I'm sure Farrah can back up at least some of this if he's still cogent right now. He's been upside down this entire time, so all the blood's rushing to his head. Depending on the head we're talking about. But the large streamers won't get involved in a lot of Star Citizen specifically because there's a skill learning curve. And any game that large streamers have to play for longer than a week to get good at, they're probably not going to stick around, because by taking a long time to learn how to play it, they have to put in an investment for themselves, and if their community doesn't like it, they're taking a risk. They want to stay on top of something, but if they're bad at a game, no one's going to watch them. Or they, unless they're entertaining in some way. And games like Star Citizen can be really frustrating. So, to a degree, it's helpful to get these new bigger guys in and get them sorted. But to a degree, doesn't matter what board says or Nubifier says or what I say. At the end of the day, they have to play the game. And if they suck at the game, then they suck at the game. Look at Lyric first played Star Citizen about a year or two ago, and Maquette and I kind of wrecked him live on stream. But
pay to win.
Yeah, he got angry because he saw the game and was like, "Oh, I have to be forced in the first person. How do I get in the third person? I hate first person." And as anyone knows, trying to play Star Citizen Arena Commander or trying to play Arena Commander in third person is impossible.
Third person.
And so he just got wrecked in an Aurora because all he had was playing third person in an Aurora and got destroyed, and so he got really frustrated about it. And the problem is that no information in the world is all the information in the world is not gonna help someone like that who doesn't like that kind of style of game at the end. In the end, so it's
one of the reasons. Sorry,
go ahead.
It's one of the reasons why I think that Star Marine is such an important release, and it's why I'm so glad that they haven't released it in a unfinished or an unpolished state. Because if these big streamers come into Star Marine, it's a first-person shooter. There's not that much of a barrier to entry. But if it does really well, the streamers will be like, "Oh, cool! So everyone's excited about Star Marine. Let's see what else is in the game."
Yeah. I agree, and I think a lot of people have been waiting for Star Marine to come out because it's that easy to stream game that they can get viewers and people can make a decision like, oh, this FPS mechanic is actually really, really tight. It really works really well. Then let's see what's the rest of it. Oh, Arena Commander is pretty fun considering all this other stuff, and so on and so forth. All right, next question is from Fiafi. Best sci-fi book, Dune. Also, best sci-fi character name, doesn't matter if book or TV or movie. Best sci-fi book, 2001: Space Odyssey. It has had the most wide-ranging impact on that or Frankenstein, because Frankenstein is technically a sci-fi book. And those are books that have had wide-ranging impacts on sci-fi from the moment they were written forward.
I read Horus Rising, if that counts, from the Horus Heresy 40k.
It's a good book, solid book. I mean, can I add 1984? Can I count that as
I guess it's sci-fi.
It's sci-fi. I think that's pretty
close to truth.
Well, now it is, yeah.
In terms of best sci-fi character name, God, I don't know.
Jane's pretty good.
Jane.
Best sci-fi book for me recently, I've read or reread the Tales of the Kitty J series by Chris Wooding. That's a very, very enjoyable series. Best sci-fi character name, Leeloo Dallas.
Leeloo Dallas,
yes.
Yeah. I'm personally preferable to Jet Black. It's always a good name from Cowboy Bebop. All right, next question comes from Ship is Love. With Chris and Aaron Roberts confirming that immediately after Squadron 42 Episode 2 being finished and move on to Episode 2, do you think the core PU mechanics like mining, salvage, cargo hauling, and exit will basically be heavily delayed even longer, since essentially the entire company is doing their resources on Squadron 42? No.
No, once you've finished the first episode, a lot of stuff is going to be in place. It's not like they're going to need to remake the whole game.
Yeah, they won't they're making ships specifically for the game. Like, the Idris doesn't need to be redone. It's done.
Yeah.
You might add a couple things to it here and there, touch it up, but as a result, there's a lot of people who were working on the Idris who now can work on ships in the PU, because they don't have to work on more ships for Episode 2.
Oh, I've just found my favourite sci-fi name. I'm a bit late.
What is it?
RoboCop, because it's pretty much descriptive of what
RoboCop, yeah.
Done. What is he? RoboCop. What's his name? RoboCop. Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Simple,
like Axe
to the
Cop.
point.
Got me there.
Yeah.
Axe cop. He's a cop with an axe. Done.
Yes. Oh, I like it. No, he'd have to actually be an axe.
Yes. It's like asking McGee.
Otherwise, yeah.
No, but
Sorry.
Do you guys think that it'll be delayed? That the PU mechanics will be delayed because of them going into Episode 2?
No, because they're different teams.
Yeah.
Different resources.
At the
different
same
teams.
time, I would really love to see what would happen if all those resources were dedicated to Star Citizen only. Do you imagine?
I mean, I still like the idea of, like, I'm holding out for, once they get through the 3 Squadron 42 games, that they do games like how Halo did ODST, and how other game series have done that, kind of like, let's play around in a different area that people haven't really, we've talked about, we never really seen, like piracy or the life of a smuggler or something like that. Because with having all the stuff in and all the assets in, it's just a matter of going back and actually using those assets in a unique way that we haven't tried before. So I think that'd be cool.
Yeah, like right at the moment, the story of Star Marine is of a multi-purpose person in the Navy. You're flying, you're also combat on ground. Not going to go into any more detail than that. If they did a story of a drop trooper, and only the story of the trooper, so you never actually fly the things, you just come in, you land, and you're doing combat.
Yeah, or like a story of a smuggler. You're not fighting, you're not a fighter pilot, you're just smuggling goods from point A to point B, kind of like a illegal version of
I'd argue that's the point of Star Citizen.
No,
Okay.
I know, but I mean, you also want to boil it down into kind of a story elements, and so that it's much more easy for people to digest. Because Star Citizen's such a huge game that it's hard for people to be like, all right, I'm going to go in this MMO and smuggle, and I'm going to get wrecked the first time I go out because I have no idea what I'm doing. Whereas in like a single player game, you can fail and go back to the original start point and be like, all right, that didn't cost me anything. I can try it again. Go, reload the game and try it again. I think, and there's lots of opportunities to tell those stories, not cost a lot of money, and at the end make money for the company, because people are more interested in those kind of stories than they would be of like putting themselves in the MMO. Yeah,
That's true.
All right, next question comes from Delarius. When do you think the new subscriber rewards will come out, i.e. Preacher Inquisition 22 Gatling gun? I don't know. Soon. Yeah. Whenever they're done.
Monday.
Yeah,
If
Monday.
devs
You can
can't
quote me.
answer-
It's a statement from CIG Monday.
Yeah, it's
if
confirmed.
devs can't
CIG
answer
devs
when
Monday.
questions.
I can also go with the approach of March.
Yeah, March. We're not going to say when March.
We've had them all along. They were actually in quite a while ago. You just didn't notice.
Yeah.
I'd say about 9, maybe 10.
Yeah, at 9, maybe 10. That's when things happen.
9 or 10, yeah.
Yeah, 9 or 10.
Picky.
Jim, the instance manager, asks, do you think we'll see a demo of 2.7 or at least playable at Gamescom based on a dev from BritisonCon mentioning he was able to fly from planet to a moon in a test level already? My servers are getting tired of holding so many players in such small areas. I think that's already been confirmed.
Yes. Although I would say don't base anything based on stuff like that. I mean, months ago, Jared Discolander was talking about flying a Gladius and landing it in a Bengal while it's moving, or an Idris while it's moving, and we don't have that. So
yeah. The thing is that we've had planetary tech for over a year now, and we know that they've been flying from devs going on streams and talking about it. We know that they've been able to take off from a planet, fly away from the planet, go to another planet, land, and then take off again and do that for at least 3 months. At least 3 months. It's been since 2.4 was started to get developed. They were talking about these kind of internal tests they were doing with that. So I think it's gonna happen. I don't know how detailed it's going to be. It may don't be surprised if it doesn't wow you, because it's nothing. It's basically what the Gamescom or the PC Games article was. But seeing it in video form will probably be a little bit better than reading about it or something.
And we haven't seen the Star Marine stuff at all yet.
So, Last question comes from Wickstrom.
Ooh.
Wickstrom. What resolution will you guys be playing? What resolution will you guys be playing Squadron 42 in? Probably just 1080p.
1080, yeah.
I don't have a
Not that I could run it any higher. I might go 480 just for this.
Are you running
just
in
to get some frames.
16:9 resolution or 4:3 resolution?
Nice 4:3.
4:3 resolution. 144.
I'm
going 2x4.
He's doing it on a piece of wood.
I want to get 45. I want to get 45 frames, so 2x4.
Yeah.
It depends on if I make Twitch partner or not. Is the honest answer.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, because we'll be streaming it. So yeah, 1080p, 60 FPS might be able to work, but most probably 1080p downscale to 720 with 30 FPS.
Oh no, I'm talking about potentially doing it in 2K.
Nice.
I don't know if the Twitch can push out.
2K?
It does.
It does.
Yeah, if you're a Twitch partner, it does. Actually, I'm planning to do 4K DSR down to 1080p for YouTube's.
Now, quick question.
Because you don't have
Adding
any-
on to all this, are you going to be recording your gameplay sessions for Squadron 40 and putting it on YouTube?
Yeah.
Okay.
My first playthrough, definitely.
No, I'm more of a not a pre-render person, but I like to make my content.
Your client.
Most of it's most of it's 60 FPS, 4K. I cannot run that live. No,
I do have to say-
that's all pre-rendered.
Having Torellian and having Fiendish Feather on talking about the game, they both say the same things about different aspects of the game. Like, oh yeah, you should totally see the thing that we found in this part of the game, which we totally are. This has been in the game for like 6 months, but nobody's ever talked about it, and we would talk about it.
Oh yeah, some crazy stuff. You should see these animations.
But we don't want to show it because we're afraid that if we show it, then we'd piss off CIG or something like that. I don't know. It's just like you guys are just like, oh
that'd be
yeah, we
alright.
see
Shut
all
up.
of this cool stuff, and we just don't want to show it to you. You know, you're almost as bad
There's
as
something I was
CIG at
thinking about
times.
today.
Because last week you talked about like the character creation. You just saw some of the character creation,
Right, yeah.
UI stuff, and you're like, I don't know if I should talk.
Whoa,
about that.
wait, no, hang on. Let's not jump the gun. I saw an asset for how the character is created.
Yeah.
So it was just an object.
So my NDA heartstrings broke.
It's probably outdated anyway.
Okay, these are the last two questions. I keep getting questions as I'm wrapping it up. Ship is Love. Do you think that in uncontrolled pirate space, CIG would allow player organizations to have larger conflicts with much less AI interference? More like Eve's nullsec. I'm a huge conflict nut, and I want to supply weapons to warring organizations, but I cannot see this happening in UE space. I think that's the purpose of pirate space. I mean, there's going to be NPC pirate organizations which might be like, oh, look, Test and Imperium are having it out in our little space again. Enjoy our Bengal, kind of situations. But I think most of the time it'll be just too...
Yeah, I would put a caveat is when they do add the economy scales, and if you can buy shares, as soon as you hear Test engaging in a battle, buy RSI shares, because they're going to be selling a lot of ships in the near future.
A lot of Auroras. And the very last question... Board Gamer, so what was that very annoying and loud bang during the entire second half of British and Con video? My circuits couldn't handle it well.
I don't know. I have no idea. We had some guy filming for us. Yeah, thanks for filming with your bangy camera. No, it was good for him to film. Maybe he was just sat up next to someone that was pinging or banging. I don't know.
They could have also.
Maybe he was fitting him with the camera.
Was he using he was using the onboard microphone, right? He didn't have like a boom mic or anything like that.
So the problem is we were supposed to be recording the audio to the laptop from the actual microphones in a clean audio, as it would have been, but we didn't. Or I didn't get it, so it just made do.
So that's probably what the bangy is. It's because those cameras are notoriously good at picking up just random audio in the background. So it could have been just someone in a kitchen, in the hotel, like, all on the other side of the hotel, picking up all that information, that racket, because it was like vibrations through the floor or something like that.
Maybe
Someone trying to sneak into Admiral Snack Bar.
Yeah. Alrighty, guys. So that is it for the captain's table. Let's go around and let everyone give their spiel and tell them who they are, where you can find them. Starting with Board Gamer, go ahead.
You can find me on the social medias and everywhere else at Board Gamer UK. and hello, go check my stuff out.
Go watch more
YouTube
gaming.
videos. Things. It's the best, or at least I will be at least one of the top 100 Star Citizen YouTubers you see this week.
Don't undersell yourself, board. He's one of the best, longest-running Star Citizen YouTubers out there for a very long time. He consistently, always stuff. And he's on a podcast every week.
I'm on so many podcasts all the time.
He's a podcast whore. He just loves being on podcasts.
And anything where I can see my own egg-shaped head.
All right, then Cliffy, who are you? Where can they find you?
I'm nobody. I am nowheres all the time. No, I'm in Chris Roberts' trunk all the time.
Yes.
All the time.
Getting that sweet Chris Roberts DNA.
But no, you can find me on Twitch under Clifford aka Miku, and also on YouTube. I don't do much on YouTube other than there has been. I know I need to get on my review on the Vive and the Oculus. But other than that, yeah, I'll probably do some YouTube videos, definitely on SQ42, because I would like to do it on my 4K 40-inch monitor. I want to do that, off stream so I can record it at the purest 4K form and then upload that. So.
Excellent. All right, then we've got Terrellian. Who are you? Where are you from?
I'm from Australia. Now you can find me on everywhere, YouTube, etc. At /Australian official. Except for Twitter, it's just at Terrellian. I make CryEngine stuff, videos and whatnot. I was checking out some drunk animations today.
You've got a thing tonight, right?
Yes, half an hour exactly. We're going to be giving away, thanks to the Noobifier, a Obsidian voice attack voice pack. So that's going to be cool.
Is it like
us
voice
and the
attack
Mega
and
team.
Obsidian voice pack?
I believe so, probably, maybe.
Awesome.
We'll find out.
Then we've got.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no. So that's in half an hour. Tune in. It'll be good.
Terrellian at Terrellian official. Twitch.tv/Terrellian official. Right.
That's the one. Yeah.
Then we've got Fairasalt. Who are you? Where can they find you?
Hi, I'm Farazot. I'm from Australia. I'm a Twitch streamer who streams Star Citizen. I know, right? It's weird. I am currently doing exclusively Star Citizen. I'm live 7 days a week. I stream through the middle of the night for me, so that is from the beginning of the workday on East Coast, I believe, or I don't even know what times I stream. I just stream at some point during the day. You can catch me at Farazalt on Twitter, Snapchat. Don't follow me on Snapchat. Mistakes do happen if you follow me on Snapchat and Twitter. So stop by, say hi.
What he's trying to say is that the likelihood of dick pics being sent to you is follow him on Snapchat. All right, and
I just
of
sent
course,
nothing but like carrots and cucumbers.
And I'm your, as always, your host and space bartender, Paul Berserker01 Batman Shelley. You can find us here during the week. At least it's 10 p.m. At least for the next 2 weeks, we'll be doing a happy hour stream at about 2:30. And I have two things to announce. First of all, Monday we're going to have early. We're going to have on Monday we will have. I'll confirm this on Twitter. The time, but we will have _ and Xylos from CIG onto the stream, and we're going to be asking them some questions and stuff like that. It'll be similar to this format, but it'll be just the three of us talking, and so you guys can ask questions and all that kind of stuff. Come on and talk about Xylos' love of unhealthy love of barbecue and his mad skills at Rocket League and so on and so forth. So I'm gonna try to keep as many. I'm hoping you guys can get as many non-Star Citizen questions as possible for them, just so we can just bombard them with questions that they can answer, and not questions that are like, when's 2.5 coming out? When's Submarine coming out? Where's X, Y, and Z? All that kind of stuff. So we'll see.
# when questions only.
Yes. And the last thing is that next week we're going to be doing an international captain's table. We're bringing on Tobatej, and we're bringing on two guys from Star Pirates News who do a podcast right before us, or from French content creators. So we've got Tobatej, who's from Germany. We've got two guys from the French content creators teams, and we're going to have Athogen, hopefully, from Australia will be on here as well. So it's going to be kind of a trying to bring lots of parts of the Star Citizen community together to talk a little bit more about Star Citizen in honor of Gamescom coming up. And we've got something planned for the week after that, but I'll let that be a surprise. We'll talk about that.
I thought Toby was from Oz. Secret.
He's from Australia, isn't he?
Is he?
That's what,
I thought he said it was from France. Sorry, Germany.
Toby
Toby
Taser's German.
Taser's from Germany. I said Athogen.
Everyone sounds the same. That's
Oh, yeah, no.
to me. Just everyone.
Alrighty, so like I say, we say every time. Thank you guys again for watching. Hope to see you guys again soon, but if we don't, hope to see you someday in the black.
In the verse.
Bye, guys.